Well, while we're fucking around with that, I'll go ahead and go live and get this rolling while we take care of some technical business. Make sure everything actually works on my end. Starting to do this on YouTube, it's kind of weird. Is it not going to YouTube?
Does this help?
Kind of. A little bit.
It just kind of sounds like you're like in an air tunnel almost.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like it's picking up a lot more than just you.
Well, to be fair, my usual microphone's a dynamic, and this one's a condenser or whatever. So
Right. Okay. Well, I mean,
I can get closer, but it might distort.
Oh yeah, that sounds terrible. I think it'll be fine. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I mean, you might be able to turn me up. I don't know unless I'm already all the way up.
No, I have you at like. Oh, I got you just at 100. I'll turn you up a little bit though. So. But yeah, okay. So then let's do it. Let's do it to it, as the kids would say. Sorry, trying to get this ongoing.
I'm not lagging though, or am I? I'm not like breaking up.
No.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Right now I'm using my fucking phone hotspot because I can't figure out how this fucking hotel's Wi-Fi works. Like it has no password, but they want you to. It has no password, but they want you to agree to something. But the agreement page won't come up when I connect, so it's like, okay.
Oh, so it's like yeah, it's like stuck.
Classic.
Yeah, I hate those. Like yeah, they're like those like capture landing pages they use. Like just use like
just give me a password, dude. I'd
yeah,
rather just get a password on a slip and just enter that.
yeah. Or a lot of places just kind of have like the password like written on like a sheet, like at at the table. In the room itself, it's like I don't know, like why are you making this so? Why are you gonna make this so damn complicated? I don't know. It probably has something to do with like it's probably stealing your data. It wants you to agree to something because it's first off probably satanic. First and foremost, but
by the way, the noise is probably the AC unit that's nearby. So
it is. It's a loud boy, but we'll deal with it. We're professionals
I mean,
here.
I could possibly find another position in the room if I could find a place to put everything, but.
I mean, it's not the biggest deal right now. I mean, we'll work through it. I'm not all fucked up about it or anything. So.
I'm pretty frustrated.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Why would you of all people be frustrated?
Because he's like the sound guy, dude.
That's true. That's a fair point. Yeah. So.
Well, not only that, but it's been a frustrating night on the hotel front in general.
Well, all right. You know what? Let's kind of let's do this a little unorthodox. Let's just go ahead and dive into it. So like let's start there, and then then we'll cycle back to the beginning. So you are late tonight. Of course, you're late tonight to this. You're always a little late, but I mean it's usually whatever. Yeah. But as everyone knows, Prude is out and about. He is on the road to Knoxville, and you are currently tonight in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. So get us from there. So you're late because you told us you were going to your hotel, and then Google told you the wrong hotel. Just lead us off from that.
Well, it wasn't off by much. They're both on the same kind of corner. But I spent a couple of minutes going into the other one and like trying to explain myself to the guy, and he's like, he's like confused for a minute why I didn't have a reservation there when I booked one, and then he like looked at the reservation. He's like, oh, that's the wrong address. Like there's another hotel right behind this one or that one, which is the one I actually booked. So that was annoying because on Google Maps it looks like the same location.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided instead of going straight to this hotel, I'd go get some. I saw like it's not Love's, it's another place. I forgot the name of it, but it's like a similar looking place that might be like an Oklahoma chain or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like right across the street. So I was like, I need water, and I got like a Red Bull for the morning, and then they have Bluebell there, so I got a pint of Bluebell.
Oh, nice. What flavor?
I just got the Great Divide. I kept it simple. I kind of like
Okay.
their basics, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Bluebell, of course, isn't really sold west of Texas, really. So
No, not really.
um,
And it is
anyways,
it is the goat ice cream brand, by the way.
yeah, it's pretty good. So as I get to the right hotel after doing that little stop real quick, and if you saw, I posted that black fella in cowboy getup that I saw at the convenience store. Anyways, I came to this hotel. I go to check in, and I'm like, I got a reservation for Devin. This fucking Oklahoma dude, which Oklahoma, by the way, is just worse Texas. I'm just getting that out right now.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, fucked up, but not wrong.
Not incorrect, but I mean, bold words.
They would not like to hear that, but you gotta say it sometimes. Anyways, the guy at the desk, I'm like, yeah, I got a reservation for Devin, right? Every other hotel along the way that they've like figured it out, but he's like, he took a minute like confused why he couldn't find the reservation, and they like looked at my ID. He's like, oh, Devin's your first name. I'm like, yeah, I mean, obviously I have two names, and when is Devin ever a fucking surname? Like, I didn't know you needed my last name.
Yeah, I guess I can't think of any.
And so he goes on this whole spiel about, well, I've never seen a list propagated my first name. I'm like, dude, the other fucking hotels figured it out. Like, how many reservations do you have right now? Anyways, so that annoyed me. And then he goes on later. He's like, by the way, I don't know how often you use Booking, but just so you know, the room you booked is actually accessible and like meant for people with disabilities. So don't let Booking find out because they'll charge a fee for that. I was like, what? Like, they just let me book it. Like, when I was booking this hotel, there was a room with no specifications, and there was a room that said accessible / non-smoking. I took it to mean that it was like that was the only non-smoking room because that's the only one that's specified. So I'm taking the fucking non-smoking room because I fucking hate smoke smell. But it turns out that like the accessible thing isn't just like all talk. Apparently there is like a shower you can wheel yourself into, but they didn't ask to like make sure I was crippled. So I don't know why that would ever like. Why would they charge a fee if they just let anybody book it?
To be
They
fair,
didn't lie.
you are mentally disabled, so.
Well, that's true. I mean, if they try to get me with it, I'll be like, dude, I have like an anxiety disorder, and I have to have a flat shower, or else
Just tell them you're just straight up retarded.
Based?
Just to like go full, to like don't like just go, you go, I'm retarded. Just like go full bore and like dare them.
I don't know why somebody who's retarded would need wheelchair access, but
It's to protect you getting in and out of the shower.
And if
a normal tub, you might trip and fall and hurt yourself.
If they really call your bluff, you pull out your ace in the hole and you just shit yourself on the spot, and then no one questions you ever again.
Right.
So,
Got it.
Yeah. So
That's what I would do.
Anyways, so I told the dude, I was like, yeah, so I just feel like an asshole tonight now, but then he tried being polite, like, oh no, it's fine. I was also like, dude, I could change rooms if it's a big deal, because I know that's like, it was the last one of this type of room tonight. But like, how many fucking crippled people do you have coming here anyways? But anyways, I was like, if it matters, just give me a different room. I know you have like 4 of the other rooms that I could have booked. If they're all non-smoking, because that's what he said, then give me one of those. He's like, no, I can't change it. You have to change it, and I don't think you can do that. I was like, you can't just switch the rooms? That's not like a thing you can do in your
They
system?
definitely can. Like, that's a thing hotels do all the time.
So was it a thing where he was just trying to make me feel like a fucking asshole? I don't know.
I don't even think it's that. I think it was just like, you gotta understand, like, most people that work in service industries are just retarded. That's why they work in service industries, because they literally can't do anything else.
Well, that's true. And this guy, this was like an older white dude, and he seemed like he was a little bit more qualified than most of the desk people I talked to, but he was still a fucking asshole. And like,
Well, see, this is the problem. You're dealing with white people.
right.
I hate
Well, and
white
yeah, the thing
people.
is, like, maybe because this is like a slightly nicer hotel than the other ones I stayed at, like I got a good deal on it. But like, maybe because of that, like, they're more stuffy about things. Like, they handed me a fucking list of like rules too, and like I was like, what the fuck? The other hotels don't have this many things to say. It was like specifying, I mean, checkout time, sure, every place has a checkout time, but like all these specific hours for breakfast and swimming, fitness, guest laundry,
Fitness dick in your
vending machine,
Hit his ass.
housekeeping for multiple nights every other day, deposits $50, debit / credit, $150 cash. Like, they needed a deposit, which the other ones didn't need if you already like paid. something if you smoke or tamper with smoke detectors. Additional occupant fees for anyone on reservation. No passwords for internet, just accept turns. There's a number for if I have issues connecting, but I'm not fucking calling a number for this.
Yeah. No, that's
It's probably gonna be the same guy who answers the phone.
Yeah.
So good luck with that.
it's just the front desk.
Do not prop any of our doors as triggers alarm. So that's good to know. I wasn't planning on propping a door. Doors are locked at night. Agent on duty 24/7. No visitors after midnight. Like they locked this place down, dude.
Damn.
Then 100% non-smoking or vaping property and no pets allowed. I told a joke to one of the other people the other day when they asked me if like no smoking or no pets. I was like, yeah, I forgot my smoking cat.
And
Woof.
how'd they react?
Wow.
He gave me a little chuckle.
So you didn't bring your good material on the road. It's what you're saying.
Some say he brought his best material on the road.
Well, maybe that might actually be the. Yeah, no, that's.
You know, it's been a long couple days, so I'm allowed to.
It has been a long couple of days. So, but why don't we rewind to Tuesday?
Yeah, I left on Tuesday.
All right. So rewind. You're sitting in your driveway in California, right? Start from there.
Hello?
Hello? Did he die?
A homie might have died.
Homie might. That's fine. You know, he is in Oklahoma City. It's a rough town, I hear. I think. I don't really know.
They don't say you come okay out of the OKC.
Oh, I like that. You know, I was shocked to find out how close Norman is to Oklahoma City. I thought Norman was like out in the middle of like butt fuck nowhere, but no, it's like right there. So, just think. Prude right now is just minutes away from where Baker Mayfield was once arrested for being drunk in public and fighting with police. Inspirational. Just absolutely inspirational.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think he was at Oklahoma when that happened. Or who was he with before he was at Oklahoma? Because he was one of those things where it's like he had to transfer because like the first team didn't want him, which is which is a recurring theme both in college and Texas Tech. Okay, you good?
It turns out moving my phone at all disrupts the hotspot. So.
Ooh, man, no, I remember that. Like, do y'all remember that weird little phase? It was kind of at the tail end of when we were playing Rust, like on our own before we started playing with the goons. Do y'all remember that little phase where I had to hotspot to even be able to play Rust? No? Okay. Well, I had. Oh, okay. Well, I had to do this thing, and like if it was on the left side of my desk, it worked. But if I moved it to the other side of my keyboard, it stopped working. So you literally had to keep it. Yeah. No. I don't know why that happens, but that's a confirmed thing. So anyway. Where we were, I said you're in your driveway, California.
Hey, give me 1 second. I gotta send a text. 1 second.
Oh my god! And then this dude's internet is gonna disconnect. Dude, this is amateur hour if I have ever seen it. This is dark night in the history of the beef stream.
Yeah, but some say it's also a big night in the history of the beef stream.
Well, you know, highs and lows, man, peaks and valleys. Would that be a good name? Peaks and valleys?
Yeah.
I thought I was onto a banger right there, man. Who do you think he's texting? His mom?
Probably.
No, yeah, I was texting her because if I don't tell her that I stopped for the night, she's gonna text me in like an hour wondering if I died.
Hey.
Classic mom.
Classic mom. Dude. Classic mom. Yeah. All right. Now go ahead.
So I was asking when I disconnected. Do you want like a play-by-play of everything since the driveway then?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I said bye to everyone. Left. Went up to 76. coming out of Vista. Went up through kind of the coastal mountains there. Stopped at my old scout camp that I went to like 3 times for summer camp back in the
Uruguay,
day.
right?
Matagway.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. And then after that, I proceeded down to the south end of the Salton Sea through some farmland over there. A lot of farms over there, actually. That's where all those the haystacks were. And then I swung up to Slab City. I saw Salvation Mound. I talked to the caretaker for that place, like some dude who for the last 7 years has taken care of it. Took over about a year after the original guy died, and I actually basically kind of interviewed him, so I do have audio recordings of that. Kind of an interesting little guy, and took a lot of pictures of that. I didn't really stop anywhere else in Slab City because I needed to get moving after sitting there for so long, and honestly, like, I don't actually want to deal with the kinds of people that Slab City has.
No.
They're kind of they're kind of what I call in the cities street people,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just gonna drive around. I snapped a couple pictures, and I was like, my dash cam's getting all this too. So, then I proceeded to Bombay Beach, which is like, it used to be an old resort on the Salton Sea, that was abandoned, and like the original resort basically like disintegrated or some shit, and now it's just like a little like trailer park town. um, but there's some interesting stuff there. Then I proceeded north, and at this point, I started realizing that since I had left Vista, the town I was living in before, that like basically since I got on the 76, I hadn't seen like one fast food place or like one Walmart or whatever. Like there was basically only convenience stores and like little mom and pop sit down restaurants. Like there's no convenient stops along the way. And at that point, I
It
started
was
to get
so
hungry.
funny because you this story was originally given to us in a series of voice memos that you posted in Discord, and you were just straight up freaking it there for a little bit. I mean,
Well, yeah, because okay, so going north from Bombay Beach, first I had to like kind of go, instead of going up all the way to like Coachella, there's like a little mountain pass road. I don't know which one that one was, but that was a scary fucking road. It was poorly lit. The corners, like most of the time on like a curvy road, there's like the little like oh, it gets curvy here, slow down things where it's like, oh, 35 miles per hour, and usually those are like, ha, fuck you, I'm going 50 still, on this one you actually have to go 35. I almost like ran off the road once. um, and I got through there. That was a little terrifying. And then once I got over that, I kind of got on I-10 for like, I don't know, like 10 or 20 miles or something. And then I got on this fucking road called California 177 North. And that's where the real troubles began. Because California 177 North is incredibly straight, incredibly like remote, boring. Literally, I mean, I'm sure if I saw it during the day, it'd be like farms or some shit all around it. But like at night, it's kind of like the Central Valley of California, where you feel like you're in like a little spaceship, because you're just surrounded by darkness all around you. And you know, I was. It's getting to be the point where I wanted to like load up on, food, water, eventually gas, all that shit. And I was like, when is this gonna end? I knew how far I had until I hit the 40, but I was like, I was hoping something would come up before then. It wasn't until that fucking Chevron or whatever you mentioned.
yeah, the Chevron in Vidal Junction.
Yeah, which I'd never heard of Vidal before, but
I don't think anyone has. Well, no, Vidal's not even a real place, and the only thing is actually in Vidal Junction. Well, I'm guessing what it is, like, it's because when I looked at the map, when I looked on it, it was like there's a bunch of named places, but there's nothing there but like the imprint of something used to be here. So I'm guessing like a lot of these places are like abandoned or ghost towns or something that were like probably big in like the gold rush or something, but now they're just literally just names on a map.
Yeah, from what I saw, it was that gas station plus some sort of truck thing across the street.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a Love's or something cool like that. It was just like truckers have a lot of shit that they stop at that I don't really understand. Like I still don't really understand the point of weight stations, but anyways, that's a whole separate thing.
It was a agricultural inspection thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because California is a state where if they think that you might be bringing anything agricultural into the state, they want to inspect your shit to make sure you're not bringing like invasive species and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That makes
Huh.
sense. Yeah.
Holding my tongue. Holding my tongue.
Yeah. So yeah, so then from there I turned up towards Needles, and that was so. I mean, the other stuff wasn't really a mistake. I just didn't realize how kind of overall remote that route was, and the fact that it never really crossed anything major for long. And even the stretch of the 10 I was on, which is a major highway, like there was no rest stops even on that little stretch. I mean, if I kept going, maybe, but I wasn't going to because I didn't need to. So I realized how long it would be until I really had like a nice stop off, especially as things started to like get tiring. And then you had mentioned the Loves that I eventually stopped at later on.
Yeah.
And I should have just gone straight there because it actually wasn't that much further down the highway than where I stopped before that. And I ended up stopping there anyways because I needed gas. So the story is I went to Needles, right? Last stop in California, a stop that was really emblematic of my life in California, if you will, because everything was way too expensive, shitty service, sketchy, wasn't a good time. I stopped at a Jack in the Box there because I was starving. I was like, okay, Jack in the Box is familiar, and that's not out east, so at least that's something I can't get out there. So I'll get one more round at Jack in the Box. For some reason, though, Jack in the Box was like $1 or two more expensive than any of mine, like back home were, and it literally took like half an hour to get through the fucking drive-through. I should have just gone in. But I guess it wasn't the end of the world because I was trying to figure out where I wanted to stay that night. I was looking at hotels there, and like they were all a little too expensive for being like Motel 6 type shit. And all of them looked like they might have bed bugs, and I wasn't sure that my car wouldn't be broken into because that town gave me bad vibes, like as far as the quality of the people there. And even the lady that checked me out in Vidal before down the highway, she looked like an old methed out like retired prostitute. So like just that whole section of California really was an inspiring confidence. But yeah, so I the Neil's like, all these hotels suck. I was like, maybe I should get gas. I looked at gas. The gas was fucking like $6.50 a gallon. I was like, what the fuck? That's $2 a gallon more than it is back home, which is already more expensive than the rest of the country. Like, what the fuck is going on here? I thought things would be cheap because of the proximity to Las Vegas, because Las Vegas isn't really that expensive as a traveler, but Needles is. So I said, fuck this, I'm going down the highway. And then eventually I saw the Loves that you mentioned. I stopped there and got gas.
All right, so I gotta
And
ask, what was your first reaction to Loves?
it looked nice, I mean, at that point, I didn't go inside at that point because I
Oh,
was
okay.
just trying to move along. The first one I went inside of was the second one I stopped at. That first one, yeah, I got gas quickly, and it literally was like almost $3 cheaper per gallon than it was in Needles. So I'm glad I didn't fill up in Needles. By the way, Needles, interesting town. I'm pretty sure they named it after their favorite drug paraphernalia.
Nice.
Yeah. So, anyways, I stopped in Kingsman, Arizona, eventually, and at that point it was pretty late. Overpaid by probably at least $10 because I couldn't book through a third party site, so I had to just pay the desk price because it was after midnight, and most of those services for booking third party don't let you book for like what's technically the previous day. Because my state would have started the previous day in conventional terms, which is kind of fucking retarded. Because you think if you're traveling, I don't think it's that uncommon for travelers to go pretty late and then just sleep 8
Yeah.
hours and then leave.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's that crazy.
No.
But whatever. So I was like, fuck it. I mean, I'll take the hit. At the end of the day, it's not that much more money. Like I'm already paying some money, so that hotel kind of sucked though. I got woken up early by housekeeping banging. Like they're fucking. I can't say slurs, can I? Because we're actually
No.
on a good yeah. Okay. Some hardworking Latino Americans were performing their cleaning duties in the next room over and talking very loudly, and the rooms were poorly sound insulated. And once I was woken up a little bit early, I just couldn't go back to sleep because there was a big day ahead of me, I guess. And so I woke up a couple hours earlier than I meant to, and at least and I had secured an hour later checkout as a concession the previous night for them not like being willing to price match or anything any of the sites, because I tried asking for that too, and they're like,
Right.
"Oh, we can't do that." But that didn't really matter because I got woken up early. So, anyways, that's fine. One day of too little sleep was doable. I proceeded onwards. I don't. No, okay. What I did in Kingsman was I drove around for a second, thinking about what I wanted to eat, and then eventually I decided to go to a Filipino restaurant that was actually quite good. The lumpia that I had there were really good, and then the noodle dish with the rice noodles was decent too, but the lumpia were really good. Um, then I proceeded to the Grand Canyon, and let me tell you, the drive up to the Grand Canyon, very scenic. I did not expect it to be that pretty. It's very forested and uh, green. Like I didn't expect it to be. I thought it was gonna be like deserts, but it's actually much nicer than I thought. And the road up to it's pretty pleasant. People drove fast, which I like, even though it was like for the most part single lane in either direction. There's a couple designated passing zones, but so that was good. I got up there, really fun. I took a lot of pictures, but no amount of like digital representations of the place I think do justice to how the perceptual depth you get from it when you're there in person. Like just the breadth and the depth of the place is hard to get across in pictures, and really kind of mind blowing when you first see it. Because I've obviously seen pictures of the Grand Canyon, but it was much larger than I even expected, and much deeper. So that was really cool. I spent most of the rest of the day there. I went to like 4 different viewing sites. I went to Mathers Point, Yavapi Point, like Grandview or something, and I went to the Desert Watchtower at the very end with the last light of the day, and they're all really cool. I talked to a bunch of people from all over that day. People, you never meet people as friendly as those who are having a good time on vacation. Like it totally opens them up, and like everybody's happy to talk about random shit at that point. And I ended up helping a lot of people with like taking pictures of their whole group. Because like when you have like families, right? And they're like taking turns taking pictures of each other or whatever. I was like, hey, I'll take a picture of all of you. So that was fun. Then I progressed back down out of the east side of the park towards East Flagstaff, eventually stopping in a tiny town called Holbrook, which is like I think it's part of the Navajo Nation. I think it's like in their territory or whatever. In that town, it's like it was like a lot of like cultural exploitation, but it was being done by natives, so I guess they're allowed to do that because there was
Hey,
like there was like a hotel called like the Wigwam Motel, and the fucking parking lot was full of like fake giant teepees and shit. Um, and there was like a there was another place. I'm trying to remember what the name was. It was like some ridiculous shit about like let me see if we can find out what it was called. But I don't know. I saw further up the highway from it. I call some sort of tourist attraction called Pee on a Teepee. I was like, that sounds
Ha
racist, but
ha.
it's not because I think the Navajo themselves are doing it.
PP on a
One
TP.
second. I was it's like a smoke shop or something I saw. I'm trying to remember what it was called.
Ugh. We gotta do
Yeah,
we,
it's
we gotta do
awful.
something about the
It's
smoke shop problem.
it is awful, but at least it's like an actual smoke shop and not like a vape store.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's better.
Because the natives sell real tobacco. I don't think they do much of the vape stuff.
Right.
none of that wacky tobacco.
No, they know that good desert
Yeah.
stuff to smoke that they've hidden from the white man.
Yeah. Man, what is it called? It's a funny fucking. But yeah, if anybody ever goes and looks at the map of Holbrook, Arizona, there's a lot of wacky kind of like cultural caricatures in terms of what things are named there. And I remember driving around at the end before checking into the hotel, and I was like, dude, like some of the shit was really ridiculous. I stayed at that hotel again, or not again, but I stayed at that hotel. There, it was first night I stayed at a Days Inn. The second time I stayed at a uh, Super 8, which are both owned by Wyndham, I think. Who like they apparently own all the Jeep hotels at this point, besides Motel 6. Um, and checked out of there. Still didn't get super good sleep that night actually, despite being really tired. Um, and then let's see, what did I do after that? I went to a place called like something 66. It was like a restaurant that was like Route 66 themed, but it was like a little independent place there in town, and they had pretty good stuff. They had like a mixed like an energy drink that like involved like white monster or whatever if you want, or regular monster, and like then flavors. So like I got a strawberry and cream drink, and then got some loaded like buffalo chicken fries or something. And then yeah, the people there are really cool. Continuing down the highway, I think it was that day where I first stopped at Love's, like for to go inside. I think, and I don't remember what I got at that point, but it was my first experience inside, and that one was cool. I mean, Love's in general, convenient place to go, got everything you need, even decent bathrooms. So that's nice when you're on the road, because it can be hard in some of these towns to find a place to stop and actually just like take a shit if you have to take a shit.
Yeah.
As I
Was
went
this
there that
was
day
this
in
the one where you got
Albuquerque-
the subway?
I think it might have been. Yeah, I think the first one might have been where I got the subway.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I've been to Love's like 5 times now or something. Or like 6
Nice.
times now. So I've been, you know, and I've taken a picture each time, but it might have been the subway one. I'm trying to. I don't. I think it was because I think the second time was when I got the hot dogs. Anyway.
Big loves guy.
Or was it, man? I'm trying to think. What?
Okay, so the one that you went to that had the subway, it was like a McDonald's and a Subway in one. And that was the one because I think you took a picture of it and it was like they had a really poor, it was late. It was real late.
No, the subway one. I'm remembering now. I stopped before Holbrook the previous day actually.
Okay.
And got Subway at that one.
Okay.
That was the first one I went inside of. Yeah. Sorry, my Love's stops are really blending together at this point.
Happens.
Yeah. Yeah, don't you know, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah. Ask me about it.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I got Subway that time, and I filled up that time, and then I went to Holbrook, and that's where all the Indian stuff happened. But anyways, the next day, I progressed onwards. I think I stopped at Love's again before Albuquerque. I think just for like water and stuff. I don't think I really did much that time. And then I got to Albuquerque. I saw the Heckin' Science Museum, the Heckin' Museum of Nuclear Science or whatever. Thought about stopping there because I was like, oh, that sounds like an attraction, something to do in this town. But
Now you were kind of shitting on the ABQ. You were saying it looked like a shitty
it's kind
town.
of a shithole, dude. I was like Breaking Bad kind of makes sense now because maybe they do actually just cook a bunch of meth there.
I didn't know the Rio Grande ran through it.
Rio water dirty, by the way.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah. So, I mean, it might have just been. I mean, there was like a more downtown looking area that I didn't pull off in because I didn't want to deal with downtown traffic. So
Oh,
I was
yeah,
gonna
most
pass that when
certainly.
I stopped. But I pulled off and I was like, okay, like nice little kind of semi outskirts type region of the city. I stopped at a at a Walgreens there because I needed some like lip balm. I needed I like the Aquaphor like lip recovery stuff. It tends to work better than most chapsticks.
Right.
Because between like being in a desert for a couple days and like getting a lot of sun and stuff, my lips were pretty fucked up at that point. And my lips are like baseline pretty much chapped all the time anyways. It's just
Right.
like a problem I always have. So got some of that, but like the Walgreens was like super locked down. Like there was a loss prevention guy and like a probably a fake bulletproof vest, but still like and it's like it was like this black kid. And I don't know, just like he himself didn't look too reputable. And then on top of that, there's a lot of street people outside, and like all the aisles in the Walgreens are like locked up, like behind like plastic like container things, you know,
Jesus.
that they have to open up. So I was like, okay, well I'm gonna get my shit and go. And then so I went a little bit further down because I was trying to find food, and I found a place that specializes in like carnitas and chicharrones, and it looked pretty authentic. So I was like, oh, that sounds good. You know, it's not really specific to New Mexico, but at least I can say I got some New Mexican Mexican food, I guess. And so I stopped there. But before I went in there, I went to the international market because this is like the international district of the city actually, and they had like an international market there that had like aisles dedicated to all the different cuisines and stuff.
Right.
It's actually really cool.
So-
But obviously, it's on trip.
So an interesting thing to point out. This was probably one of the first towns where you had a chance to start your stadium tour, and you just kind of just blew on past it as far as I know. So
Well, you know, I mean, there's other priorities.
Oh, hold on now. Are you trying to tell me that you don't understand the powerhouse that is the University of New Mexico Lobos?
I guess it was lost on me.
Yeah,
Wow.
Can't blame you for not stopping at that one, brother.
Wow. All right, go ahead.
Well, anyways, there was a lot of again street people near the Mexican restaurant. International market was cool, but I couldn't buy anything because obviously I'm just on a trip. I don't need a bunch of groceries at this point. Um, I did get one of the like Japanese uck coffee with milk things they sell in the vending machines over there for nostalgia. And then I went to the Mexican restaurant. It was pretty good, but nobody there spoke English. So for once, I actually ordered in Spanish, and I don't think I looked like a dickhead because I don't think they would have understood if I ordered in English. Like where I'm from, if you're a white person and you order in English, you look like a fucking asshole because they all speak English. So,
Right.
but here I don't think they did. Uh, so, but it was good. And you know, I used their bathroom. I took a fat shit in there
Based.
because I'd also been struggling throughout Albuquerque. This is the point I guess I was getting at originally was throughout Albuquerque I was struggling to find a bathroom because that whole area was so fucking ghetto that none of the businesses offered public restrooms.
Yeah. Hey.
The real downside of being anywhere that's shitty is that like that's a real problem that they have.
Yeah.
And so yeah, finished up there, got back on the highway, continued on. It was after getting to Santa Rosa. That was the one that I stopped at and got the glizzies, the loves. I filled up on gas. I got the glizzies.
So very interested to ask about this one. So you obviously came to the expert, and said what are we getting here? And I said the jalapeno cheddar, right, and the cheeseburger, and you got both those, right?
Yeah,
okay, so let's go through it one at a time. So how did you feel about the jalapeno cheddar?
It's a quality dog. I would say quality of the dog itself was, I'd say near Costco level, which is pretty good because Costco has damn good dogs. So I was pretty pleased with it. Good tasting hot dog. And then I guess you're gonna ask about the hamburger one.
Oh,
that
yeah.
one was it's pretty good. It was interesting. It does taste like a hamburger.
It does, yeah. Now I see you actually put yours on a bun. I don't. I just eat that sumbitch naked.
For both or just for the hamburger?
Just the hamburger.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I wasn't sure how to go about it, but I was like, there's buns.
Wait, so it tastes like a hamburger, but you don't put it on a bun?
Right. I mean, you can.
Why?
Because I don't want
Hamburgers go on buns, brother.
Right, but it's a meat stick. You just eat it
on a bun.
All right, we're gonna go back and forth on this all night. So
yeah, I mean, and the buns they weren't bad how I had them. Like I said, I wish I'd heated them up somehow. I didn't see the microwave at that location.
It's built in. It's not obvious. It's built into the thing, the thing. So you kind of have to go around the other side between the rollers and the coffee machines and kind of look down. So
let's see, yeah. Because I definitely think heating up the buns would enhance the experience. Because I like them a little bit more pliable than like room temp. And then for the toppings, right? I did onions on both. Big onion guy on any sort of dog. I did relish and spicy mustard on the jalapeno cheddar, and then I did. I believe I just did ketchup and then Duke's mayo on the burger one, just to kind of diversify my toppings. And of course, that's the first I've had of Duke's mayo, and obviously I couldn't really taste the nuances of it because it's kind of overpowered by the fact that it's on a burger dog. But, it seemed decent, didn't seem bad. So.
Well, you're gonna get real used. You're gonna get real used to it over the next couple of years, huh?
All right. Well, I went outside, kind of fucked around for a little bit, like trying to plan out where I wanted to stop that night, and then like sun started setting, and it was really nice looking sunset actually from the viewpoint. And Santa Rosa is like one of the few areas of elevation there. I mean, I think the entire East New Mexican area, even though it looks like a plain similar to Texas, it's like much more elevated.
Right. Yeah, I was when you posted a picture coming into the state, I was really blown away how majestic that was in and of itself. I mean, it was because when from the way that you came in on I-40 into New Mexico, there's a lot of, what would you call that, like buttes, mesas, something, one of those, and it's just it's really phenomenal looking.
That whole stretch was really interesting. I mean, in general, I've been pleased with the sights so far. Like, nowhere's really bored me. Like, even I mean, some might say like North Texas and Oklahoma are a little boring, but there's still even some kind of like nice looking like vistas and like areas of scenery here too. But yeah, and especially like I was saying about Arizona, like not just the forested drive into the Grand Canyon, but even the parts that weren't forested were pretty nice looking. Like I definitely think North Arizona is a lot prettier than the rest of Arizona. But anyways, Santa Rosa, Loves. So I took some pictures there because I was like, oh, this is a good viewpoint. Then the thunderstorm started rolling and it started raining on me, so I ran back to the car. And I decided, okay, I'm going to get to, I believe the town name was Tucumcari,
Mm-hmm.
which is a funny name as we discussed.
You carry and come?
Yeah. And I think it's another of those areas that was, I don't know, it's like a small town that probably has native roots or something. Stayed at like an independent hotel there called Sunset Inn. It's nice. It's, decent quality of sleep there. And then I proceeded onwards to, after waking up in the morning, I stopped at the Loves there in town and got breakfast tacos and some other stuff that I needed, some supplies I needed. Proceeded onwards to Amarillo. I stopped at the start of Amarillo at a place called Cadillac Ranch, which is like an art
What
exhibit thing.
interesting, just a quick thing. What time of day did you make Amarillo by?
It's really more like midday by the time I got
God,
there.
fuck off. Damn it.
So, is there two separate songs? Is there an evening and morning one?
No, there's just one. There's just Amarillo by morning.
Well, I thought before you were saying Amarillo by evening as like.
No, I was doing a joke because it was like you said, "Oh, I'll be there by evening," and I went Amarillo by evening. That's not the song. No.
Yeah, well, I guess in my frame of reference, where I'm waking up at like 10 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's technically my morning, I guess. So.
Okay, so you were technically made Amarillo by morning.
Yeah.
Just say yes, so I'll shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was there.
All right.
That was. Yep.
right.
So I went to Cadillac Ranch, which is like basically a series of old Cadillac frames buried in the ground. Like nose first or some shit. And
Weirdly enough,
you can go
my
there-
my mom was actually familiar with that.
Really?
Yeah.
It feels like something that boomers would really be into.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know? Like that seems like a boomery attraction, but I think it would be great for kids too, because kids were there and they were climbing on the cars. Apparently that's allowed, and I didn't know this because I was like, okay, it's a bunch of spray painted shit cars and like even like the ground and like the railing around the area and even like the concrete like safety barriers outside the area were all spray painted. Like the whole area is spray painted. I was like, oh, that's just like part of the art exhibit or whatever. But no, they let anybody come with their own cans of spray paint and just start spray painting shit.
That's wild.
Yeah, so a lot of people were walking in and just tagging shit up basically, and then I
Any gamer words or Nazi symbols?
I didn't, but I thought about. I was like, well, who would stop me if I did?
Right.
I was thinking about that. I was like, but I didn't, tip fate there because who knows? They'd call like the Texas State Troopers and they'd like kill me for being Californian or something. So
Which, justified.
right. So better not tempt fate. At least until I have Tennessee plates. But,
Right.
Yeah, so that was cool. I wrote "Wide Boys" on the ground. You guys saw that picture. So if people go there, they can bring their own spray paint, or they can just take some of the discarded half-used spray paint cans and do whatever. It was pretty cool. Proceeding to Amarillo, got barbecue at a place called Tyler's. It's pretty
Nice.
good. The place was like flooded like a month ago, like less than a month ago, and there's still sandbags up around it actually, which I noticed on the way out that there's still a bunch of sandbags out there. But yeah, apparently Amarillo got flooded pretty hard on like June 5th or something. So it's interesting because it looks pretty clean. Like it didn't look like it was just flooded. So I guess whatever they were doing to keep the water out worked. It was good. After that, I got on the highway and basically beeline to the state line with Oklahoma. Stopped at Love's again. What did I do at this one? Took another shit. Yeah. That was the big one for the day. Then what did I do? I got an energy drink. I tried the Ghost energy drinks. I think Phoenix talks about them.
Oh yeah, he goes on and on about him.
Well, hold on. I actually got one of those to try myself tonight.
Oh, nice.
Really? What? Really? Huh? Because I have the can right here. I got the orange cream.
All right, so I got a different flavor. I actually got 3 since they were on sale at Kroger. But obviously, I'm not going to drink 3 energy drinks tonight. But
Pussy.
so I figured tonight I would try the most bad sounding of the flavors. So I got the 2 Sour Patch flavors, like the red and blue Sour Patch, and then I got this one that's called Bubblicious Cotton Candy.
Oh God.
And like, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like bubble gum and cotton candy flavored, but we're
Oh,
about to find out.
oh God.
I'm
So would you say you're a save the best for last kind of guy?
well, primarily I figured I'd use the best one for the show because I'm a professional.
Mhm.
And now I'm gonna take my mic fully off noise suppression here so we can get the full experience.
Okay.
Mm. Oh,
As I struggle to fucking open the can.
Classic.
So here's the thing about me: I don't have much in terms of like nails because like I constantly kind of gnaw on them because I've got bad habits.
Sure.
So getting under the, it's got the classic tab, and apparently I'm a cripple.
Mm,
Oh,
there you go.
fuck.
There you go.
That was not what we wanted. All right. The smell. It kind of smells like spray cleaner for like tables and stuff.
Oh
So
no.
that's a good sign. Oh,
like
interesting.
Good interesting or
Mm.
oh.
mm.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with the taste of like standard like Hubba Bubba gum,
Yeah.
the thing that comes in like the
Yeah.
pink roll,
Yeah.
tastes exactly like that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not terrible.
Yeah, so
That sounds great.
a bit weird to be drinking it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I will say, like, normally when it comes to energy drinks, I tend to really dislike like the aftertaste that comes with
Right.
them. But this one surprisingly has like no real aftertaste, so like I can actually drink this, which is kind of cool.
Right.
I don't know that I'll finish it since it's got a lot of caffeine and it's
Yeah.
11:30 at night.
Yeah.
I should probably plug in my phone. It's gonna die. 1 second.
Oh boy. Here we go. Gonna get another disconnect.
But for something I was going in expecting to hate, pleasantly surprised.
Nice. Well, if we're talking if we're talking weird shit we tried this week. So I went over to the Dollar General yesterday to pick up some stuff. And I don't know, just something like out of the corner of my eye. Cause I'm not really like a sweets or snacks kind of guy. Y'all know how I am. I'm usually on that fitness stuff. But out of the corner of my eye, I caught a bag of things called I don't think I have it on hand anymore, so I can't get the actual name. But it was essentially it was peanut brittle, right? But
Right.
brownies.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Oh, I've
like,
had that.
I know what peanut
No,
brittle is, but how does the brownie get incorporated?
I guess it's so
I know what he's talking about.
it was like they took a brownie, right? And it was like it's not the right word to use, but I can't think of a better way to describe it. It was like it was unleavened. Does that make sense? So it's like it didn't.
It's almost like a brownie cracker or something.
Yeah, it's a brownie cracker.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking at pictures of it now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell y'all what right now. It was pretty damn good, actually. It was pretty damn good. It was actually surprisingly low calorie as well. I can't remember. It was like a lady's name, the brand, but they also had like a Reese's Pieces one, which I'm definitely gonna try again if I.
Was it Sheila G's?
It was Sheila G's. Yeah. That's exactly what it was. And I tell y'all what, it was. I ain't complaining. It was extremely decent. So, I was very very happy with that. So, because like I said, not a big.
Good.
Yeah. So I would definitely. I don't know. I don't know if there's anywhere to get it other than Dollar General, probably, but definitely.
Looks like old Garget has it. Walmart has it.
That's a
Looks
hard
like it might be something that's everywhere.
2 thumbs up on that one.
How do you feel about Heath bars?
Big toffee guy.
Yeah,
I'm also a big toffee guy.
I don't hate Heath bars. Yeah, I think this goes back to our Halloween stream where we talked about it. But yeah, no, I'm definitely pro Heath. I'm a big yes on the Heath question.
All right, because when I googled brownie brittle, I'm seeing you mentioned they had a Reese's Pieces version. They also have a Heath bar version. That might be something to look out for.
Okay. Yeah, brownie brittle by Sheila G. They got looks like they got an M&M.
Ooh, salted caramel.
Yeah. They've got like a blondie M&M. That looks good too.
They've got a
Uh,
keto version for you keto friends. Mint chocolate chip.
a salted caramel. That's And there's a lemon one. I'm not so much on that one, but
Lemon.
yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, and here's just like a chocolate chip. Oh man, I'm gonna have to keep an. I'm going to Kroger tomorrow. I'm gonna keep an eye open and see if they have any more of these. If they do, you might see your boy go in on them and try a couple other flavors. And um, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Before,
tell you what. I'm looking at Amazon right now. They have they got some variety packs on sale on
oh,
Amazon. Looks like potentially 6 different flavors for about 20
oh,
bucks.
that might be a go in on. That might be a go in on. But I want to circle back to Prude's thing just before we moved on. Of course, you're in Oklahoma City tonight. Originally you wanted to be in Fort Smith, Arkansas, but
Well, yeah, I mean, I was looking at the times because what was I gonna say? Yeah, after getting here, I got an Oklahoma onion burger, went to this hotel, and I told my frustrations about that earlier. But so by the way, is the noise better now? I turn on the crisp suppression. I don't know if that helps or
yeah,
not,
it's a little bit better.
um,
We don't really have like we can't really. I can't hear the AC anymore. Your mic is just a bit, not super high quality,
so
but
Well, that's not going to get much
well,
better. So
yeah.
I don't know if it's like a matter of quality or like what's going on with it. 'Cause
maybe
I'm pretty
I don't
happy
know.
with the
It
audio from
it
this thing.
sounds good enough.
Well, it's just like I'm pretty happy with the quality of this thing when it's on the camera. I don't know if it has like worse performance over USB or something.
It
I wonder if I.
possible.
it kind of sounds like you might be using a webcam mic on your laptop. Honestly,
Yeah. Check. Did you check your
I
inputs?
wonder.
That's gonna be so
Check
funny.
actually. Hold on. Does that make noise?
I
didn't.
heard a light tapping.
If it wasn't loud, then it probably wasn't the. See, because I tapped where the webcam is, and it didn't seem.
Oh,
I mean, isn't it as easy as just to check Discord's inputs?
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it says that the road is the input, so I don't know what the deal is with that.
Oh,
Who knows?
I don't know.
I don't know. But
Maybe it's
anyway,
just weird through your computer, not your
yeah,
camera or something.
yeah, maybe. Um, but yeah, moving on. So Oklahoma City tonight. Not quite as far as you want to make it today. How's the rest of this trip going to look? So I know that I guess the next big thing, I mean, you have to go through Little Rock, which is a big town, but the next big thing is, of course, going to be Memphis. A couple of little things in
Yeah.
Memphis, then a couple of things in Nashville. But tell us what the next couple of days are going to look like.
Well, it is possible that tomorrow I try to get through Memphis and then find a place past Memphis because I don't want to stop in
Yeah.
Memphis.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, I did stop early tonight because I'm both not really caught up on sleep. Like I got decent sleep last night, but not enough to like make up for it because that hotel also
Right.
had 10 o'clock rather than 11 o'clock checkout, which is dumb.
Right.
So hopefully tonight we end the show and I can get like 9 or more hours of sleep or something.
Okay.
And really catch up, and then tomorrow without the show looming, right? I can just kind of go as late as I want. And so in that case, maybe I do drive all the way past. I make my stops, which the stops that I want to do now. Like maybe tomorrow for lunch when I start, I'll get that Brahms place that Capri was talking about. Since I didn't do it today, I saw a couple stops for it, but I didn't do it. So I might do that tomorrow as like my last little bit of food in Oklahoma, and then I'm sure I'll find something to look at in Arkansas, like a brief stop or something, either in the Ozarks or in Little Rock or something. But yeah, I'll get to Memphis. The Memphis short list is, of course, the pyramid, the Bass Pro Shop pyramid, and maybe some Memphis barbecue. And then hopefully I'm able to get a little bit past it and stop there. And if that's the case, then I really could just arrive the day after that because past Memphis, I mean, Memphis itself is a little over 4 hours from Knoxville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
looking at the map, you're about 13 hours away in Oklahoma City now. So
Right. So if I just go a little long tomorrow, which hopefully I do if I get rest and stuff, I'll be able to do it. If I start right away and I don't spend too long, it stops. So and if I end somewhere between Memphis and Nashville, I could arrive maybe within 3 hours the next day. Of course, I do want to stop at the compound in Nashville, the Gaylord stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and I do want to stop at the other Bucky's between them too, since I'm driving by anyways. I'll help me have a point of reference for the additional Bucky's that's opening in a few days. Um, and then yeah, after that, I mean, after that Bucky's stop, it's like an hour or so to where we're headed. So, uh, at that point, it's probably the last stop, and I just get there, and then I guess it's back to normal life. Which after traveling, it's kind of like it's one of those things. Just like I mean, travel can be stressful sometimes, but it's also like it's a lot more fun than just normal everyday life too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be rough going
A
back
lot
from
more,
this.
a lot more exciting, anyways. Yeah, it's kind of like how we talk about like when a show ends, like like how like when Fish Tank ended or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. But yeah. So presumably, unless something big happens to really slow me down tomorrow, presumably the day after tomorrow I can arrive.
Okay. So that's
Shit, arriving on the Lord's Day.
arriving on the Lord's Day. Wow.
Well,
That's kind of
I'll
hey.
get there. I'll get there. I'll unpack as quick as I can. Get the stuff out of the car. At least not really unpack, but get the stuff out of the car, and then and then I'll take my rest because it is a
Yeah.
day of rest.
Yeah.
So
It is, and so now we finally come to it. It's 2 days away. Like, we need to solidify the food option for the first day.
That's exactly what I was about to say. So you brought up something interesting. It's gonna be on a Sunday. I feel like, honestly, because of that, that's a perfect reason to participate in the ultimate Southern Sunday tradition, where you go hit a meat in three place, fried chicken preferably. Yeah, because that's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we do. After church, it's meat in three. It's maybe because a lot of times maybe you hit like. Listen, I'm not gonna say y'all do this, but I'm just saying it's an option to hit the pig. Wait, do y'all even have a pig?
A Piggly Wiggly?
Yeah.
We do not.
Oh, see, now that's a tough scene.
I mean,
That's a
there's
tough
meat
scene.
and threes over there, but
Where are Piggly
uh,
Wigglies?
the thing is though, I mean, I don't know exactly what time I'll arrive that day, right?
Right.
And like on top of the time of arrival, I also don't know how long it's gonna take to get like my initial stuff out of the car. I mean, I don't necessarily have to unpack everything right at that moment, but I'd rather get most of it out so I don't have a bunch of shit.
I mean, I can help unload and whatnot.
Damn, the closest pig is in
Sure.
Etowah and Decatur. Ugh, hate to see it.
Etowah, what? Sounds like
It's
fucking Japan.
it's down 411. So
Etowah and Decatur, dude. Like, there's a billion fucking places called Decatur.
yeah, there
I don't
is.
get it.
Yeah, there is.
It gets me because I would like in like every single fucking Outcast song they name drop it too, and it's like, which one are you talking about, dude?
It's the one. It's because Decatur is like a big
Well,
area
they're
outside.
near Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because yeah, they're from the ATL.
Yeah.
as evident in their
it's
song.
a big suburb. So
ATLians.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, it's got to be. It's got to be meat and three, man. I even like plate lunch. You know.
Well, as long as stuff is still open by the time it's all said and done,
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not gonna get there at like 4 a.m. or anything.
You never know.
That's true. Fair point.
You never know what
Pretty
some
late.
wild boys in their mid-20s asterisk might get up to.
Right.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
All right. Okay. Fair.
Well,
Fair.
But I mean, like, I don't know if many mean threes stay open late on a Sunday either. Like.
Fair point. Fair point. Because they're really just open for that church crowd, and they're not there for you sinners.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
There is Waffle House.
Yeah, but I feel like that's so cliche.
You can technically get a mean three at Waffle House. Just if you.
Yeah, but that's so cliche. Don't do Waffle House. That's so cliche.
I mean, I could just like bring pizza.
No, come on, no pizza, no. I feel like it's either got to be meat and three or at the very least Chinese. That's also a big acceptable one.
Is Chinese even open late? Like everything closes.
Oh,
at,
yeah.
like, fucking 4 p.m. these days. It's ridiculous.
It is. That's what. So when we're looking at, were you talking about the other day? when you were going down that stretch of highway before you figured out the needles thing. I was telling you you could maybe go over to a town called Palmer, but the problem was like
Right.
everything there closes at like 11.
Right.
COVID ruined
Shit,
late
dude.
night.
A lot of stuff here closes 8, 9 p.m.
Woof.
Places that aren't like full on sit down restaurants.
Yeah.
That is.
I mean, what gets me the worst is the fact that Walmart's just not 24 hours anymore anywhere.
Yeah.
Because that used to be like my if I was like up late and I was like, okay, I need to do shopping at some point. They got everything I need. They're cheap. And if I go now, nobody's gonna be there, so I don't have to deal with traffic or weird Walmart people. So that's like half the half of what's wrong with Walmart out of the way. Like that was the time.
Right.
It was a good late night activity if I need to like fill some time and I had nothing else going on.
Right.
You can't do that anymore because fucking baby flu, dude. Like it just ruined everything.
Well, now how about this one? Let me
And the
throw
thing is, all these companies figured out they can run shit on a skeleton crew, and like society adapted, and now there's no cause to do business late. Anyways, go on.
let me throw this one at you. Maybe you go hit a little Crystals.
I mean, I'd be happy to do that. Yeah, I've never had that before.
Crystals is open till
I
midnight.
also have not had Crystals.
There you go.
It's
And
not
that's
too far away.
Crystals
There you
is Crystals is kind of a Southern institution, kind of, sort of.
I mean, it's basically Southern White Castle, right? Like,
Yeah, it's Southern White Castle. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
So that's an option. What else?
If I arrived on the 26th, I bet the new Bucky's is 24 hours. It's a little bit of a drive. Yeah, no, I'm not going to that place right away.
I'm gonna be real with you. We're not doing an hour both ways at like 2 a.m. or whatever.
Pussy.
I did think while driving, like, what if I just like didn't even stop in Knoxville and did just go all the way to like Wilmington just to make a point? And the point was I drove coast to coast, but that's gonna be too much for me. So
Are you? I don't.
You,
You're not.
you can enjoy that yourself, I guess.
You're not that ballsy. So
Well, I'm not that ballsy.
yeah, you heard me, bitch.
Well, now it's like you're daring me to.
Yeah, I am. Because I don't think you want to know why I'm daring you to. Because I know you won't. Because you're a pussy. You're gonna get to Knoxville and you're gonna be, oh, so tired, so sleepy, and then you're just gonna bitch out like you do everything else.
Normally, when you try to goad me into something that benefits you, but I don't think me going to Wilmington, North Carolina, benefits you in any way. In fact, I think it's a unbenefit because I think the sooner I stop and get settled in Knoxville, the sooner other plans can get on. So,
Right.
like, I don't know what your stake is here.
I have no stake. I don't need a stake. I'm just saying, you, Prude, aka Cat guy, are a bitch, and you won't.
Well, I'll take that into consideration.
All right, we'll see what happens. So, yeah, I think as far as the first meal issue, I think that's more that's an on the ground decision. That's gonna be a day. That's gonna be a game time decision, as we say.
You call it an audible, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps even an audible. Yeah, definitely. So, man, it's crazy. It's so close, boys. It's so close.
Yep.
It's so close. It's crazy how close it is.
Yep.
It's crazy. From literally just something we joked about, a couple of years ago to, here it is. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. So.
Yeah, that stuff's crazy. What I'm not looking forward to is the part where I have to get a job again. That part's gonna suck.
Yeah, well, just don't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean you've had okay jobs before, so I mean I think you're just a little gun shy after that security thing, and I think even that would have been fine if it just hadn't been for the hours.
Well, I mean the hours weren't really that bad. It just made it hard to do things with like people I know, but like
Right. Well, when I meant hours, I meant hours of the day, not total hours.
Nah.
No, and I'm just saying, I think things might you might find yourself, moving upward, even though you don't feel like you're succeeding. You know what I'm saying? There might be another word for that. Perhaps failing upwards?
Maybe.
And also, it's only a matter of time until our name pending project pops off anyway. So,
Yeah. A guy that I talked to at the Grand Canyon actually tried to get me a job in Knoxville. He really tried to suggest me a job in Knoxville. Like he was like, I helped him and his girlfriend or whatever like get a picture together, and he was like, so where you from? I was like, oh, well, I'm from San Diego. I'm going over to Knoxville. He's like, oh, my man, I love Knoxville. I go there all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, and he's like, yeah, I got a buddy there with a pool installation service. I was like, oh,
Hey,
Like,
hey, that's steady employment, man.
yeah.
It's
I
it's
mean,
big
is
manual
it-
labor, but
Is it steady employment? I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
pool
No, no, no.
installation kind of has quite a season to it before the ground kind of
Well,
gets too
he
hard.
did say that he also needed salespeople, which would definitely be what I would do if
Oh,
I ever
okay,
did something
well.
like that. Because
Oh, fair.
I'm not doing manual labor. I'm telling you that right now.
wow. Okay.
Facts.
Well,
Listen, bro, I quit my manual labor job like in 3
well,
days of getting here.
listen. You know, as like #1 manual labor guy, you know, it's not that. Yes. I'm sorry. Okay, hey, let's get a quick poll. Let's get a quick poll of the host in chat right now. Raise your hand
Okay.
if you've worked in the oil field.
Now, let's be real. Like,
Oh, that's
oil
crazy.
field, so like, yeah, it's labor, but you're like exploiting the resources of Earth and destroying Earth. Whereas a man of the people, toiled to deliver people's packages and mail.
Bro,
every
you're
day.
giving people their playboys. Let's not act like you're some big public servant here.
Does anybody order Playboy anymore? Like,
I don't know.
I can't say I ever had someone that order a Playboy, but there have been very clearly dildos ordered. And there was the occasional old person getting like horny ads in the mail.
Nice.
Well, that's probably because they like clicked the wrong thing though. Honestly, like you know,
Probably,
people,
yeah.
computers, but
Anyway, so back to the point. Yeah. So yeah, I'm #1 manual labor guy. So
Now, have we ever talked about the Shed restaurant in Maryville?
I think so. Yeah. I think
Maybe,
we covered that. We covered pretty much all the big ones on that episode.
Yeah, I wasn't here for that episode, so I don't really know what you guys talked about.
That was the pre-Tony era. Yeah.
Oh wow,
So,
the old
yeah.
days.
The old days, back when we had people like Mez and Capri on the show.
Mm.
Yeah.
The dark times.
Well, you know, some would say half good, half bad.
The black times.
And it would be up to you, the viewer, the listener, to decide which one of those is the good and the bad.
It's almost like my flavor of Bluebell ice cream, the Great Divide. It's half and half.
Do you remember when they tried to do that big thing with I say they, but it was like one woman. They tried to do this big thing with the Great Divide where they wanted, it was during 2020, so context, where they wanted to rename it to like something gay. Just something gay, just something stupid. And
like the flavor or
yeah. They wanted to rename it because, okay, so the context, well, I'll give you the full context. What it was this woman, and she wrote to them, and she was like, my children who are biracial or something during homeschooling or something, were asking why it was called the Great Divide and not, I think it was like Better Together or something. It was the name. And she wrote into him and was like, you should think about changing it to Better Together. And Bluebell was like, oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, we'll think about that. 3 years later, not a word. Bluebell doesn't rock. Listen. Bluebell knows who their demo is, and they don't rock the boat. Okay, they don't. They make ice cream and they keep their mouth shut the rest of the time.
That one of the strange oddities I saw on the road that really kind of made me rubberneck a little bit was right after Amarillo.
Oh,
I saw like in the middle of kind of the agricultural areas there in North Texas, like a little bit outside of the city. I was driving on the opposite side of the highway. There was to the side like a little fenced area, and inside of that there was all sorts of like displays of like rainbow flag shit just fenced off in the middle of the field. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? It was like it was very clearly about the gays. Like it was very
the gays, the gay community.
Yeah, it was very clearly that kind of situation, like from what I saw, and like there's some words I didn't really get to read fully, but something about like progress or what. I was like, what the fuck is this doing here?
That's hate to see it.
It's those fucking Californias moving out east, bro.
True.
I'm surprised some cowboy hasn't gone the night and burned that shit down. Honestly.
Yeah, well, you know, too much trouble.
Well,
Too
anyways,
much trouble.
and I told you guys about the New Mexico thing, right? Where it was like the
Oh
billboard that
God,
was like
yes.
advertising abortions. That was weird.
That was fucking.
Um,
Come here and kill your babies. Yeah,
right.
great, man. Cool.
Stupid.
Very great.
Man, what else? Oh man, and the first great disappointment in me for getting or like not being ready to take a picture because I've been doing a lot of the stuff for like especially because a lot of the time I'm able to have this cruise at a consistent speed and then my
Yeah.
car kind of stays in the lane itself and stuff at this point. So I've been doing this thing where when I know it's safe to, I like kind of just take snaps of interesting shit I see while driving past it with my
Yeah.
phone because it's easy, you know. And the first incident of me being disappointed I wasn't ready to take a picture of it was out in the Californian desert actually there, and I knew this was there from the maps because I had seen it there when I was looking through the area, but I forgot it was there. There's a sign for the Republic of Slow Jamistan, and I was like, oh man, I didn't take a picture of that.
Oh man.
I don't know I don't know what happens there, but I had heard
Slow jams, dude.
I guess so, man. But it was I don't know. That was one of many
Slow
occasions.
Jamistan.
There's been a lot of very interesting like signs and like displays and shit that I haven't what's going on out there? Can you guys hear that?
No.
I heard some honking for a brief
Okay.
moment.
Carl, I'm gonna make sure it's not my car. Hold on.
Oh no. Yeah, that'd be about
I'm
right.
gonna take a piss real quick.
That'd be about right. Someone tried to break into Prude's car. Oh man, what a rousing advertisement for the great state of Oklahoma that would be. It's kind of funny that of all the states so far that he's had the most complaints about it has been Oklahoma. Who will I remind everyone will soon be an SEC state. So, you good?
Yeah. So it wasn't mine, so that's all good.
Okay.
I don't care what's happening if it's not mine.
Okay.
I did since I like after eating that burger and I was stuffed. I was like, man, yeah, I know I'm not making any further than this on the show soon anyway. So I was like, I know I'm staying in this town.
Okay.
Like there was a couple, you know, it was like hotels that were slightly cheaper, like $10 cheaper. But I was like, you know, all said because this is an actual city, and so far I've mostly been staying in like small towns where not a lot happens.
Right.
Like since this is an actual city, and it has city problems, I presume if you catch my drift.
No, I understand.
I did put a little stock into booking something slightly nicer, and then like,
Sure.
some of the cheaper stuff was in the part of town that I haven't seen yet. Whereas this place is literally like on the same block as the burger place, so at least I knew it wasn't like the worst, you know.
Right.
Smart choice.
Yeah, I was like, you know, if we're staying urban, I'm gonna hedge against urban possibilities, you know.
Smart.
Because otherwise I would typically prefer if I had a little bit more time and a little bit more energy to go to another town. But this is one of those situations where I was looking at the future options, and all the small towns for the next like 100 miles or something either had no hotels or like expensive hotels. So I was like, okay, well then those aren't an option. So, and I'm not going over 100 miles this late, you know,
Right.
knowing that everything, you know, was coming in. So
Right.
Yeah.
So this is my compromise. And like I said, tomorrow, hopefully, if I push, get past Memphis, then I'm in a good position to finish the day after tomorrow. But
Yeah. You got some good country up ahead of you. So like Oklahoma, we talked about, like that's the divide between like the desert and starting to get into like green.
yeah, I will say, and maybe it's because it's been like for a lot of the country out west, especially, it's been a pretty wet like winter and spring. Not as much brown as I expected. Like there's a lot more green than I expected even out west, but I think that's a situational thing, you know, where for now a lot of the vegetation's still relatively hydrated. I'm sure late summer it'll go back to being shitty and brown.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get the brown as you pass through Memphis. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
No comment.
Hey, though, Memphis only 7 hours away. That's not too bad.
And see, you're gonna get that energy boost when you go through Memphis anyway, and you kneel before the pyramid and kind of recharge.
Right. Yeah.
So I think
I'll
you'll
be
be good.
like the meme of the white pharaoh guy.
Yeah.
I'll be like that.
Right.
I'll have Kang energy.
Yeah.
Um,
Fucking.
but yeah, the real risk is just getting lost in Bass Pro. Like I've never been in one before, so I don't want to get too lost in the sauce, so to speak, and
Right.
really be
Well,
out on
and
the
given
trail.
its location, I hope that's the only sauce that gets involved.
Jesus, yeah, I mean, shit.
Yeah, always got to worry about that. Yeah, but man, look at this on the map. This is so stupid. Oh my god, why did he
What?
build a giant glass pyramid?
Well,
It's so based.
It kind
they
of is.
built it. It wasn't a Bass Pro Shop. Apparently, they
Right.
bought it later.
Yeah.
I don't know what it originally was, to be
I
honest.
have no
but-
idea. I guess they just kind of went with the Memphis meme and went, all right, we're gonna put a
Right, because it's easy to forget that Memphis actually is a city in Egypt.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, because they have the inferior version.
Right.
Because I gotta ask the obvious question: does Memphis, Egypt, what does their football program look like?
That's a good question.
Because I can tell you that Memphis, University of, pretty decent team actually. So
Yeah, well, when you consider the demographics of football and the demographics of Memphis,
right,
decent correlation there.
right,
Mm.
right. Interesting. You'd say that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just it really gets into the origins of why football was like pushed below baseball at some point, and like the South, because it was the Southern sport and it involved people of certain demographics earlier than baseball did and whatnot.
Oh.
Interesting.
But we won't get into that in this stream.
We won't get into that on this stream, but man, very based that as you cross the mighty Mississippi, you just see this giant pyramid in the distance. That's so comical, but based, but based,
Very based.
but based. So the Hernando de Soto Bridge, by the way, so also rather based.
I mean, and I agree with what you were saying the other day. Maybe in addition to a pyramid, we need to put a giant gate there at that point.
A gate or just like hella firepower,
And just keep the outsiders out.
Yeah. Just
It's gonna be a situation where I get over that bridge, and it's kind of like a kick the ladder out from under me situation.
Right.
And now the path is closed.
Right. Yeah, no, it's like you're the last one we're let in.
Right.
Yeah, I wish, but no.
Right. Like catching the last boat, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of baseball, didn't Aniji graduate for like making a joke about baseball?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
They don't joke about baseball in Japan.
Serious shit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it was like I think her name's like Mireille Gundo or some shit.
I don't know.
Jap name.
I'm a big
But-
Niji guy and I'd never even heard of her.
Well, she was one of the bigger JP ones for sure. Like she's definitely interactive with the Hololive girls from time to
Right.
time. And yeah, so about 2 months ago, I think she made a joke about like, why can't you just hit the guy with the ball or
Right.
something like that? And that was like an immediate
Yeah.
you're on a forced break. And then 2 months later, the next announcement out is she's graduating. Like
That's
damn.
nutty. That's so nutty.
She violated the honorary Bushido code of Japanese baseball.
I mean, you kind
guess
of, yeah,
so.
because it's like, it's against the rules, right? It's against the rules to intentionally hit someone with the ball, though it's very hard to prove, obviously, more or less. But yeah, no, it is.
It shouldn't be.
Well, it hurts a lot. It hurts real bad. So
Yeah, but it would kind of make baseball more based if like you had to be on the defense at all times.
I've been hit once or twice, and it's not great.
They should actually just make a new sport, and it's about like destroying the other team with baseballs just directly, like just fucking throwing them and killing them.
Right. I don't know about that, but yeah. Anyway, no, but no, they talk that all very seriously, very, very seriously. So, but I mean, that's why we love them. That's why we love the Japs. That's why the Japs are honorary.
The follow up on the whole graduation thing, like they gave her one last graduation stream, like it was a 15-minute go ahead and do your announcement and then fuck off
Right.
kind of deal. So
Jesus,
that
dude.
happened. And then the instant the stream ended,
Wow.
they popped on their Niji EN account and announced 3 new Niji boys.
Woof.
Like the moment the stream ended, they tweeted that shit out. I was like, that's some optics.
Yeah.
And like, of course, they're the most like awful, standard looking, garbage ass
Yeah.
Niji male models.
Yeah. They're not good. So.
And then I think the graduation is also kind of funny because I'm pretty sure they have some bitch that's been on hiatus for like 2 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know anything about that.
That one like Roa girl, I think, or whatever, who got accused of bullying someone.
Mm.
Oh, I thought she was just done. She's just been on ice. Okay.
Yeah, like technically she isn't
Oh.
officially graduated, I want to say.
Oh, just because like wasn't she also pretty big too, like as far as Nijis go? And
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, in October of 2020, she went on a self-imposed hiatus, I guess because of like defamation or some shit. Like she was accused of bullying another member that I think graduated,
Right.
if I'm remembering the situation right.
Right.
I just know her for that bye-bye monkey meme. If you guys know what I'm talking about.
No.
I don't, but that sounds kind of based.
It's a George Floyd edit of her saying a certain line.
Huh.
Gotcha.
Huh. For legal reasons, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, that could mean all sorts of things, you know.
Yeah.
A celebration of his life.
Right. A celebration of his life and being
his,
ended way too early.
Many years sober since.
But yeah, I guess
don't know
we're coming
about
up on 3 years of extended extended break.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, common Niji. Classic Niji on nonstop L's at literally all times.
No, listen. Yeah, they might have some ups and downs, but they can never truly take an L because they have something that no one else has.
Now you say that, but like, did you watch your girl Selene stream today?
Who?
That purple fat Chinese lady.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you mean Pomu's friend?
Mm.
Listen. You're always walking back your true love, and listen.
I don't think I will because from literally day one I was Pomodachi because they debuted like months before Obsidia. So I mean, day one Pomodachi.
Yeah, but for a while you were a pretty big Selene guy, and there wasn't much mentioning of Pomu.
Well, because Pomu was kind of in a slump. She wasn't doing much. But now, listen.
In a slump, he abandons his Oshi.
I didn't. I just,
Interesting.
you know, I had to help the new squad, the new wave, because you gotta remember back then, pre Luxium or whatever that first male wave was. You gotta remember it was dire straits for Niji EN. They weren't very popular. You know, they weren't super popular. So you had to support all the girls.
Depends on what metrics you use.
Major corporate metrics.
I feel like a few hundred views is still popular enough in the grand scheme of live streaming.
Well, sure, but for Niji Sanji, who, you know, is supposed to be, you know,
for Niji Sanji, who pumps out 3,000 new members a year, and quite a few of them, I'm pretty sure, only have view counts in the hundreds. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, that's true. I've noticed Millie and Scarlet very recently have very rarely break 1,000 anymore. But they're kind of like they're very niche streamers, to be quite honest. But no, you know. But listen, once Pomu found Metal Gear Solid, it all changed. It all changed. So, you know, I will not hear any questioning of my Pomodachi credentials. I am number one. Pomodachi.
I'm not convinced you're not a Dragoon.
I literally haven't watched a Selene stream in months.
I don't believe it. You listen. You were out here watching fucking Luna the other night.
She was playing Minecraft, and it was a good comfy stream. Ah, shit! I said it. It was a good. Yeah.
Yeah. My big guy was out here repping his Lunite badge.
Yeah. I mean, not literally. I'm not.
Luna is pretty good though.
Yeah, no, she's very good because like her streams, they're like kind of quiet when she's playing Minecraft. I mean, obviously when she's playing other stuff, she probably freaks out. But it was very quiet, and you know she makes her little Luna noises, and It's just nice. Listen, and
I
A,
respect your, I
B,
respect your dedication.
B, it was the only thing on. And then C, I don't remember which day I posted it, but let's use this to segue into something else. When did I link it? Let me see. I linked ours on the 20th, 19th. So that was Monday. Yeah. All right. So Monday, I was still half delirious from my near-death experience. Okay. Because Sunday. Okay. So let's back it up all the way to last Saturday night. Last Saturday night, I believe it was during the After Dark segment. If we even did an After Dark segment, I don't remember. I think we did. I had to step away for like a couple of minutes on the stream because my mom called me, and she sounded extremely concerned. I thought someone had like broken in or something, or she heard something. So I was like, I was strapped up. I ran downstairs and I had that thing on me, you know. I had that thing on me. I was ready to. Right. Whatever. I don't know. Urban vernacular.
Right.
So I get in. She's like,
"We're ready to slide up on your ops."
Exactly. Yes. I get down there and she's sitting on her bed, and I was like, "Is everything okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she's like, I just vomited. And I was like, "Oh, that's great." And she's like, "Yeah, I think I got a stomach virus. Can you bring me some water?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. That's great." And then I was like, oh shit. Because usually, whenever someone in our house gets a stomach virus, everyone gets a stomach virus. Because it's just, that's how stomach viruses spread. And I was like, oh fuck. But I was like, all right, no, I'm not going to get it this time. It'll be fine. Whatever. So I get back upstairs, and I think at that point, Tony, you'd left. And me and Prude were talking. And man, I noticed I started feeling kind of strange. But I'd ate a lot of pizza that day, and I was like, all right, well maybe I just I got a little indigestion.
Right.
I'm a little dehydrated. It'll be fine. So I go get in bed and pretty tired. Get in bed and I fall asleep. And you ever wake up and you've been having a really it's hard to explain. But the sick dream. Do you know what I mean? You have the sick dream.
Well, I do have a literal fever dream sometimes. So.
Yeah. But it's like it's not a dream that's like induced by a fever or something. It's a dream that's like it's not unpleasant, but because you feel unpleasant, the dream takes on an unpleasant aura to it. And it just kind of like seems to go on and on and on because
I get that. Yeah.
I guess as you're sickly, you're kind of like drifting in and out of sleep or whatever. And I eventually just wake up and I'm like, I just think to myself, I was like, I'm having the sick dream. I'm having the sick dream. I know what this means.
No, I know what you're talking about. Actually, I recall having that a lot as a kid because I got sick a lot. Obviously I got sick a lot more often as a kid. And like,
yeah, it's kind of hard to explain.
It's like there's always like weird time dilation happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like
it feels like you're spending several days. It's just a night, but it feels like you're spending several days like in a weird fog or something. Right.
So yeah, no, I'm like, all right, I got the sick dream. So I get up and I go to the bathroom and I'm like, okay, hey, you know what? Hey, maybe just an upset stomach. A little nauseous. Maybe it's gonna be fine. So I go and get back into bed, and when you start doing the thing where you can only sleep like 30 minutes to an hour or something, that's when you know you're sick, right? Mm-hmm. And then that happened. I went, fuck me. No, god dang it. Because I hate stomach viruses more than anything.
And I also know I'm sick because also if I wasn't sick and I got woken up so routinely, I would eventually have a problem go back to sleep, So like when you're sick, it's like you're tired enough to go back to sleep, but you keep getting woken up, which sucks.
Yeah, and yeah. So at this point, because I hate stomach viruses, I literally said I'd rather had COVID again because COVID, like for me, wasn't actually that bad, like at all. It was annoying, but it wasn't that bad. But a stomach virus, you're literally anchored to the closest bathroom, right? So I'm not having a good time. Like confirmed. Excuse me. And it sucked because I had a stomach virus a few years ago and it wasn't too bad. I had it licked by about lunch, but this one, man, so this one, for weirdly enough, it like took me a while to like vomit for the first time, which was weird.
Or like you in that
I
conscious nauseous state where you just kind of want the vomit to happen,
Yeah.
so like it
Yeah.
potentially gets itself over with.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Because you know how good you're gonna feel after. That's the worst part of the vomit.
Yeah, because like sometimes it's like you just need that one vomit and then you're good, which obviously this case wasn't. But like,
No, I did have that one. I got to that one later. But no, what happened was, so like I got initially woke up in like late 5-ish or something in the morning. And it's like, you know, this time of year, sun's already starting to peak, so it's light out. I'm like, all right, there's nothing worse than getting like sick as a dog in the middle of the night, like the dead of night. Like in December or something when the sun doesn't come up till like 8 or something, you know what I mean? Like just real dark days. But so it wasn't bad, you know, sun's coming up, you know, things don't seem as bad in the morning light. So it's whatever. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just, you know, because like I said, I had one a couple of years ago and not too much has changed, but this one went hard. And I just had to like lay down on the tile of my bathroom and just vomit, laying down on my side. Because I literally yeah, well, what it probably was the sleep thing, because we were up talking pretty late last Saturday night, and I probably didn't get to bed and then to sleep till like 3:30, 4-ish.
ooh,
And to be then gotten woken up like not even 2 hours later, like, and to be sick, like that's just you're sucking on them batteries at that point. So I had no energy. I literally didn't have the energy to sit on a toilet and vomit. And I just laid down on the ground and vomited. And it was so nasty because it was like, it was fairly watery and it just like went everywhere. And I guess I nodded off for a couple of minutes and it was like on my arm. And I think there was a little bit of my hair. And it was just, it was, so I just went and got a rag, a blanket, and then like I just laid back down because I was so tired and so sick. Oh, and that repeated for like a couple of hours or something, and dude, I'm not having a good time. And I get to noon, and I'm like, all right, I got to get something in me. I don't have any soup, so I'll have a nutritional shake. How bad could that be? The answer is real bad. Because I don't know if y'all ever vomited a nutritional shake out of your nose.
I feel like a nutritional shake is too heavy to be eating.
It was. Yeah, I learned that. I kept it down as long as I could so I could absorb like the vitamins and stuff, which did help. It did help. But that was the one though that I went because I forced myself to throw up. Like it was one of those where like you're teetering on the edge, but you can't, but you have to, but you can't. So I just shoved the finger down there and I went, fuck this. And I mean, and then after that, I'm good. I'm done. That was it. That was the end of it. And I felt great. Well, I didn't feel great, but I felt much better. So that was why. Mm-hmm. I just needed some post-sickness Luna. I just needed some comforting balm on my soul. And her little Luna noises just, you know, hit perfectly. So
Right.
But man, I hate being sick so much because I don't get sick a lot. Because you know, I'm a big fitness guy. I eat pretty well. You know, I do real well. You know, I'm not a smoker. I don't drink at all, so you know, I don't get hungover. I rarely get sick, but when I do, it sucks so bad. I hate it so much. So you know, I had COVID last year, which I bitched about it, but
yeah. Well, I'll get like respiratory illnesses, but I very rarely get like puking illnesses these days. Like that's a rare one for me, you know.
Yeah, I get like sinus infections sometimes, but a lot rarer. I had a sinus infection last year, but I think it was just kind of something. It was downstream of COVID. I think before that,
I never got COVID because you know I'm kind of based.
I remember the last time I had a real bad sinus infection was actually 2015. Weirdly enough, it was actually 2015. And that was the one, it was like January, February or something. And I went in and it was one of the first time I'd ever heard How Soon Is Now by the Smiths. And I was like, damn, holy shit, this goes hard. I Shazam that shit. And I was like, yeah, this is my kind of music. So
you're kind of a late bloomer for the Smiths, huh?
Well, you know, I was never like, I don't know what you call the Smiths genre wise, but that was never kind of like my thing, which is weird because I just looked at the screen and I'm looking at something in Memphis and there's literally a restaurant called The Genre, so that's strange. That's one of those weird little things. Anyway.
You know, I had a weird synchronicity earlier, just as an aside. Like,
Oh
I
yeah?
do this thing where,
I
like,
love hearing
when
about
I'm leaving
synchronicities, by
somewhere,
the way. I love hearing about
I was, I was,
synchronicities.
I was doing this thing where, because, you know, I do a pocket check every time I leave somewhere, right? Because, like, I
Sure.
get paranoid that I'm forgetting. For me, it's always phone, wallet, keys, right? Those are the
Every
main
man does. Yeah,
essentials.
this is just
Right.
manhood. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Well, I was in my car and I was doing the checklist and I knew I had my keys because my car was running and I knew I had my phone because the Android Auto was going, but I was checking my wallet in my
Yeah.
left pocket where it lives. And just as I was doing that check, I look over to my left and there's a billboard that says phone, wallet, keys. But like the phone part was like crossed out. I think it was like an anti cell phone while driving thing or something. But it was I was like, what the fuck, man? Like I was just thinking about those three things. So yeah,
Fuck
I don't
that.
know. Well, that was a little one.
hmm Uh, but yeah, I don't know whatever you would call the Smiths, but I was never into that, so I never really
I feel
listened
like,
to them. So.
God, I don't know. There's so many, especially rock music is really bad of like having 20 different terms for like kind of the same thing. Because like, and you know, some people would even debate whether or not the Smiths is like rock, but I feel like it's one of those things where like it's in the realm of it. I mean, you know, there's a guitars and it has rock conventions, even though it's like kind of prissy, you know.
hmm
But I don't know. I think a lot of people will just like kind of group it into like the alternative stuff.
Right. Yeah, I was just, and you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess it was like adjacent enough to like emo music that I should have gotten into it, but I don't know. Maybe just one that kind of
That
fell
is
through the
interesting because
cracks.
I was gonna say because yeah, I mean they're definitely in the but all those '80s like poppy rock bands or whatever are kind of in the lineage of like
Yeah.
of what would become like goth and like scene and emo and shit. You
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. Just I get, you know, just one of those things I guess maybe fell through the cracks. So,
Now
yeah,
I'm gonna confess, I don't know that I've ever heard a Smith song.
it's pretty good. They're pretty good.
Hey, I covered them in voice messages that one time.
I feel like How Soon Is Now, like that's the one that you tell people to go listen to if they want to know what the Smiths sound like.
I know the thing that I remember being very
Charming
iffy about How
Man,
Soon Is
although
Now.
also really good.
I like the vocals of this Charming Man. They're kind of fun,
Yeah.
but How Soon Is Now? I remember it being very notable for the fact that like there's that one sound in the song that sounds almost like a train.
Yeah, like
Um,
that flange wow, you know, sound. Yeah, that's very iconic. Yeah, that's
yeah,
very iconic.
that's apparently like even the band doesn't remember how they made that sound anymore or something. So like it's kind of hard for somebody to make an accurate like kind of cover of it, I guess, because of
Yeah.
that. Anyways,
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a great song and they got a couple of bangers. Charming Man and was it Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now?
there's a light that never goes out.
Yeah. Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now. Yeah. That's a really good
Those are
one.
like the only four. Those are like the only four songs from that I actually really know that well, to be honest. But
Yeah, I couldn't tell you a shit ton of them, but Big Mouth Strikes Again. Oh, I like Big Mouth Strikes Again.
I think aside from like their greatest hits, honestly, I'm not. They're definitely in the realm of bands where I don't listen to full albums because I kind of just want to hear the hits.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think the one big thing that I listen to is like their greatest hits album. I think it's a remaster actually, and I listen to that one because they're one of those bands that definitely kind of has some turds.
I think a lot of older bands I do that for. I feel like some of those things were. I mean, some older bands did good albums, but I feel like for a lot of older bands, it really is like a collection of like good singles and stuff mixed with like kind of mediocre B-side type material that somehow
There was a
doesn't
lot
have
of
impact
filler.
on the
Yeah.
Yeah, like these days, I feel like a lot of people who do full albums keep to a theme and don't put out stuff that's not at least to a certain standard. Like
Right.
if they're a decent band, so like Led Zeppelin's another example where I like some of their greatest hits, but I wouldn't listen to a full Led Zeppelin album. I wouldn't do that. You know,
I don't know. I don't know about that one. I feel like they're pretty consistently good.
I don't know. I
Mm.
just care for the hits.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Based?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
I would definitely listen to like a full like Modest Mouse album or like a full.
Well, yeah, okay. I feel like that's cheating though, because they do like the narrative thing, you know, like where the whole thing, like, you know, like Neutral
I'd
Milk
say that
Hotel, where like the whole thing has to like
I-
be listened in one sitting to really appreciate it.
I wouldn't say Modest Mouse is the most highly narrativized of
No,
the
not
concept
highly, but
albums.
I'm just saying they're of that genre, they're of that brand of bands that does that, where it's like all the songs are kind of like fit
We're in a
together.
theme.
Yeah,
I mean, like the Lonesome Crowd West kind of sounds Western, for example. Like,
yeah.
um, that's a great road trip album actually. But um, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of bands like that, but I feel like there's a lot of old bands, especially where I don't give a shit about their full albums.
Right. Well, I say, you know, speaking of greatest hits, we're about to do what's called a segue here. Speaking of greatest hits,
Mm.
we got an anime season wrapping up. I don't know if y'all know.
Yeah.
I am
so
aware.
Are we gonna do the wrap up and the future look?
No, we're gonna do this
at
future
this
next
one?
week.
Yeah, I think that'd be better because I don't.
We're
think I
just, yeah,
have
we're
any
just
future
gonna kind of run through it, like, because I mean, the review's pretty easy because it's like we're not speculating what was good. We already know what was good,
Right.
because we watched it. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I did peek ahead a little naughty. Peeked ahead to next week to see what's on. Man, there's some killers next week. I mean, our next season. There's some killers, but
next season I really only care about Jujutsu Kaisen, but that's it.
well,
I mean,
spoiler alert, but I know I'll probably start keeping track of it this season with next week's episode, but I can't really remember what my big dark horses were, but I think I might remember, and maybe y'all will remember as we go through it. So obviously, we're using Mal here, so we're gonna go by the Mal.
There's the one I know you. I think you chose the one with the guy that had like it was covered as a lot of dudes with weapons or something. I think you chose that one as a dark horse.
Jigo Karaki, I think Hell's Paradise.
That might
I don't
be.
think that really counts as a dark horse, so that one was pretty popular.
Yeah, and it was also by Mappa, so. But I feel like before the season though, it wasn't super popular, and I feel like that was one of our.
It was one of the top membered animes on.
Are you sure? Because I feel like we had a discussion. I was like, why is this so low?
I am certain.
Okay, you know what? I don't care. Enough to fight it. The point is, we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down and discuss so the big ones using, of course, like I said, Mao's member thing. So of course, first off was Demon Slayer, and man, so I think me and Prude at least both watched this, and it was killer. It was really good. It was a very tight season. It was a very, very tight season.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. Some people complained about the season because the action wasn't as tight as last season, but like last season was hard to follow up with because that was a really good. Like the last couple episodes of last season was really nutty.
Yeah.
But like the thing that people forget is that like the action was really only that consistent in the last couple episodes of the previous season.
Yeah.
And sure, this one still didn't reach the same action peaks, I would say.
Right.
However, there were some good sequences, and the season definitely focused more on emotional peaks.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking that when I was watching the finale of the season, because it was like there was like a couple of like big sicko pop-offs for old boy, which you always love to see. Like Ufotable does, like when he like pops off, it's great, right? And you love to see it. So he did what was his like big pop-offs? The first one was like the big one where they beat the like beat air quotes I don't know what the demon's name was, but the emotion demon, where he beat him and he just did his little flame dancing. It's always fun to see. He went sicko mode on him, and classic anime fashion. I was like, oh no, you didn't actually beat him.
When they did the the headhunt move and he like beheaded like
yeah
at once or something.
Yeah. That was sick.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the peak action moments.
But I think the best one was his little pop off at the end where he gets the new sword, which I thought I rolled my eyes a little bit. And it's like, oh, it's just a sword, man. It's just a piece of metal, which I guess maybe in the lore it's not, but
it does have a pedigree. But yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of get that a little bit, but whatever. But yeah, when he just like he's gone like full rage, like pop off, and he just fucking like crack of thunder crosses the field in a second, and yeah.
Well, keep in mind too the reason why the new sword was important because his own sword was actually embedded in the demon still. So
Right. True. Yeah. So
So that was also a good reason for the
right.
sword.
But yeah, no, that was a really good pop off.
But yeah, because he does that move twice. Like the first move, they make it really obvious. Where like earlier in the fight, they show that he learned the lightning like movement technique from Zenitsu. Like he doesn't
Right.
do it as good, but like he emulates it and like combines it with his own style.
Right.
And then the second time, they don't like lampshade it as much, but he did it again there. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure in the fight.
Yeah. It's
So
just
that
it's
was
still
cool.
just part of his move set now. So
And so like even though it's not as big of a pop off in terms of like doing a bunch of crazy shit at once like he did earlier in the fight, like even every time he was beheading the demon, even if it wasn't the real one, like they would do the thing where like they get the sick like you know fire effects and stuff.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I was gonna say like a lot of people what they bitch about in the season was just that like the upper five fight with Muchiro or whatever was kind
Yeah.
of underwhelming, but it was underwhelming in the manga too. Like it was
Yeah, it was
they
underwhelming, but I felt like that wasn't the fight's problem. That was just the demon himself, right? That demon in particular felt really underwhelming to be one of like the big bads of the show.
I mean, yeah, I feel like the thing is basic. I mean, it is fair to say though, like if he didn't get the help from the kid, he would have been done for.
Yeah,
And then the reason why the fight ends so fast after that is because he's the first of like the pro demon, the Hashira or whatever the fuck, to get the mark. Because like
right.
yeah, Tanjiro has manifested it when beheading demons previously, but like only briefly. But like he was the first of the like top end demon slayers to get the mark, and I think the point was that the fight was supposed to show how much it like amps them or whatever.
Right.
Because he just kind of like clowns on him after that.
Yeah, he
Uh,
does. Which felt real good
but
because I hated that demon. He was I hated him so much.
he sucks.
He
But
sucked.
like, but it is true to say that like for a lot of demon slayers, he would still be more challenging than upper six. Like, because I mean, if you think about it, like upper six did get killed by just one Hashira, and then a
Oh,
bunch of
sure.
like yeah, and then there's a bunch of like regular demon slayers. I mean, even though the three main characters are above average, I'm sure. Like,
Right.
still like yeah. But like yeah, the fight was supposed to show off the power of the mark, and yeah, I mean and since there was two fights, right? Like that one fight didn't have to be as meaty, I
Right.
guess.
And the other one was sick enough that I feel like you could just kind of like go whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah, and they did extend the fight for what's the girl's name again? Kenroji or whatever.
Yeah.
They extended her fight slightly compared to the manga, so that was good.
Yeah.
Because she gets very little screen time in the manga, but they did show her do a couple cool moves, so that's good.
Something we all appreciate.
Yeah. And that fight's definitely the more substantial of that part. But yeah, so I mean, most people will say that arc was the weakest in the manga of all of them. So it makes sense that like whatever complaints people have in the anime that
Well, shit, if
exists,
that was the
also
weakest.
like yeah, I mean, I would say that the rest of the series is markedly better.
Right. And it definitely seems like the end game is coming at this point.
Well, I told Capri this in the other server the other day that like it's not much of a spoiler, but basically the rest of the series is you get like basically maybe 3 episodes max of like a training arc or something.
Yeah, I read that there something about they're adapting the Hashira training arc.
It'll either be because that would only be like 3 episodes, so I don't think it's gonna be the whole of next season. I just think that's the headliner for next season because that's what they're leading with.
I think they're gonna do like the Mugen Train thing, right? Where it's like the first little bit is that arc, and then they go right into the next
It could
one.
be a split season.
Possible.
It could be a split season, or they could just segue directly into it. Yeah. Well, the thing is, of course, with Mugen Train, it first came out as a movie, whereas
Mhm.
and then when it aired on TV, they broke the movie into episodes and then segued into
Right.
the new arc.
Right.
In this one, they're not doing a movie, but it could be the case where they consider it like separate parts, but they just air them back to back. I don't know. But it's really only like 3 episodes of content, and it's what the series does. Where like there's like training slash rest arcs, but they're like very brief. It's kind of just like a little bit of breathing room. It's not like
Right.
the whole thing.
Which is the opposite problem that My Hero Academia has, which their training arcs are like whole seasons long, and they just kill any momentum the show has.
Exactly, yeah. So after that, like little breather, and it segues really nicely into the end game. But like after after that, the rest of the series is basically a gauntlet of like all the remaining bad guys at once.
Nice.
So it's like a really long, protracted fight at like for the final arc, basically.
Yeah, and I mean it set it up nicely with the what was looking like going to be the big gut punch of the season with Nezuko dying, but no, just kidding, she didn't. And then apparently her being like demon now being like demon prime, or I mean it's not like a demon upgraded.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to go that. I did slightly, just so slightly, get spoiled on the ending of the thing, which was that all it was is the time period that the ending takes place in, which I don't think in the grand scheme of things is that big of a deal.
There's like a there's like a flash forward or whatever.
Yeah, and I don't feel like that's even like, you know,
it's literally like, without any spoilers for the rest of it, it's literally just an epilogue showing that like everybody has descendants that are living happily in a world without demons. Because spoiler, they beat the demons. You know.
Oh no! You're telling me that an anime ends on a happy note where the bad guys are beat? Oh no!
It might surprise you that a series called Demon Slayer resulted in the demons being slayed. But...
No! Oh no! So
but
yeah. What?
So like, and that's gonna be like. That section when it's adapted will be like an eighth of an episode. It's gonna be really short.
Yeah.
So it's literally just like it's like an engineer just to show that like, because you know the series does have a lot of like little kind of like almost like Buddhist things going on where like there's kind of hints of like, you know, the metaphysics of that universe involving reincarnation and stuff, you know. So it's kind of like lampshading like, oh, they have descendants that are happy, but also the descendants kind of look like them, and you know everybody's good, you know, like it's you know.
Right. So Demon Slayer. Swordsmith Village arc, very, very, very good. So,
yeah. What's the thing is like, even if people want to complain like that they didn't like it because of the action being less intense than last season or something, it's like, well, it's still like way above average for shonen anime. So,
now this one I remember talking about this at the beginning of the season, Oshi no Ko. How weird,
right? And now I did expect you to watch this one because it was rated super high and had a 90-minute opening episode. Did you watch it?
Hell no. This sounded dumb as hell. Why did you expect me to watch it? It sounds stupid.
I told you that like you have to watch it because the rating was high and it had a long opening episode, and I wasn't going to watch it, so I expected you to.
I'm not doing that. No, fuck that. I'm not getting paid for this.
Listen, you. As the self-proclaimed top anime guy, I would expect you to delve into the top
top good anime guy, not the top, you know, weeaboo slop. So I didn't watch any of this. I did read ahead on the wiki, and this crap only gets more insane, apparently, the longer it goes, to the point where, to the point where, you know, spoiler, no, I don't think anyone actually cares, but, it's revealed later that the idol, their mother, who got knocked up at 16 by another 16-year-old, he's a serial killer because he got molested at like 10 or 11 years old by an older woman who then became pregnant from the molestation. And I just went, what? Huh? So
well, that's Japan's top anime for you.
So I'm glad that I just threw my hands up and went, no, not gonna do it. So that's that. That's all we're gonna discuss about that. Apparently it's good. I'll never know. But I tell you what,
here's what we can blame this insane story on. So the author of this story has actually done some VTuber collabs with Kagura Miya, so we can probably put her insanity, you know, on some of this.
I don't know who that is, but sure, why not?
The Stink Queen herself?
I don't.
Yeah, you don't know who Kagura Miya is?
No, I don't. I don't. I know who Pomu is. So
your VTuber reps are lacking.
Yeah, you're right. They are, because I'm a normal human being. So
it's debatable.
Well.
Listen, you were the one just going on about like serial killers getting molested and then like getting the.
I was explaining the plot. Then, like, I'm not the one that came up with this. I'm just explaining the plot.
Listen, I'm not convinced that was real. I think that might be shit that will happen in your head.
Bold, 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 bold. So we may never know. Anyway, moving on to Jigo Karaku, which was one of my dark horses. I don't give a shit what anyone says. It was my dark horse. Can a mappa anime be a dark horse? Yeah, why the hell not? Sure. That said, though, this is really good. This is really good. Like, this is a really good anime. Although it did have something weird about rape too, so that's a recurring theme this season.
Well,
Yeah.
It's not weird.
No, it's okay. Well, we're not. No, we're not.
Maybe,
No,
maybe
no.
you're weird. We're fine.
And I'm making an executive decision here. We're not going down this path tonight.
A sane man in a crazy world.
We are not going down this path tonight, Mr. Prude. Anyway, I explained this when it's well, explaining it really doesn't really do it justice, because I mean the premise like falls apart like 2 episodes in, because like half the cast that they've established dies. Spoiler alert. But it's essentially just a bunch of like, not ninjas, but they're executioners, but they're, you know, like pre-Meiji samurai type things, and they escort these like, they're not like, no one has like superpowers, but they kind of do. It's kind of like that Vinland Saga kind of thing. It's like they don't have superpowers, but they fight like they do. You know what I mean?
Their feats are demonstrated as being superhuman, even though they canonically aren't superhuman, I guess.
Exactly. Perfect way of explaining it. Yeah. So kind of what's going on. Although I suppose Gabimaru is, because he literally can spawn fire. So never mind. Ignore everything I just said. But yeah, it's really crazy. And they end up on this island where it's like a bunch of weird ass like Hindu/Buddhist shit, but none of it makes any sense. And there's like monsters there, and then if insects bite you, it's wacky as shit. It's wacky as shit, but it's really good. It's really good. The action's really good. I've noticed some of the like the later episodes toward the end of the season, the animation looked a little sloppier. Like maybe there was some crunch, or they were running out of money or something. Many such cases, by the way. But really, really good anime. I don't want to give too much away, is what I'm trying to say here. Like, because it's definitely like a go watch. It's got great characters. There's a lot of like emotional development to it. Mm-hmm. Obviously the main character Gabimaru, the Hollow, finds himself, you know, kind of unhollowing himself. That's not a word. That's not finding his humanity, if you will. So it's very good. I don't know if there's any confirmation of a continuation or a second cour yet, but it definitely needs one. This is real. This is so good. I can't wait to see more of it. I mean, reading like reviews on Mal is so crazy, because you just realize like how disconnected most of these people are from anyone that's even remotely sane.
Yeah.
It's got a great OP.
Well,
too.
I mean, they write reviews on Mal, so what do you expect?
Solid point. OP's a solid banger. Dr. Stone in the New World. Now, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Dr. Stone is kind of mid.
Wow.
I don't say it's lost its flavor.
Yeah, I definitely would. Like, the first season was really good. Like, was really great. The second season was also pretty good. But I don't know, as it's gotten like, as you have to suspend like your disbelief more and more and more, it's getting a little bit worse. And then the problem is also, it's like all the characters have like these gimmicks, and the gimmicks get old like 3 minutes in. Like, for instance, in this season, Ryusui, right? The new guy that the ship captain guy, he does this thing where he like snaps all the time. And it's like, oh, okay, haha, yeah, that was funny the first 2 times, but can you please stop? And it's just like, I don't know if it's a matter of like the author like getting high in his own supply, but the thing like reeks of like Reddit like are mildly interesting kind of thing, where it's like he thinks he's really fucking smart.
Are you saying that you didn't like Soypog when he did the thing?
Yeah, no, I was not. I soy pogged at no point in this show, and it's just it really reeks of that. And it's like, you know, this show is for like this. I'm gonna, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna say it. Dr. Stone is the Japanese Rick and Morty. I'm just gonna say it.
I feel like people try to say that about Pop Team Epic or something when it aired.
Yeah, but
Like the
Pop Team
first
Mecha
season
is
aired,
at least
but-
funny, right? It's at least funny.
I like that show,
I
but
love it. I think it's
yeah.
great. So
but like I mean, I think the other thing to remember is that like I think Dr. Stone is very clearly one of those things that like is kind of written for children, you know? Like even
yeah,
though a lot of
maybe.
adults are into it, like I think like a lot of stuff that comes as like comes across to us as like Reddit like heckin' science stuff
Right.
would be useful to kids who don't know shit about shit, you know, and like they're just learning
Maybe.
about the world.
Maybe. That's true.
Like because it does educationally, you know, teach some scientific concepts that would be useful if you were a kid who didn't know that stuff. It's just a
Yeah.
problem when you're like, you know, when you're 30 and you're still like soy facing over like basic science information.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just the problem is like yeah. I mean that's a problem, but then the characters just like drag on me. It's hard to really put my finger on like why I've got annoyed at the show, and it's still entertaining enough to watch. But
because I will say that like I mean I didn't hate it so much in the manga. I think you were right that like it's probably more annoying when it's animated because it's just a more, you know, intensive experience having to see it over and over again or whatever. But I will say that's definitely a problem, I guess, in the manga is that like as they wake up more and more people, like the only individuality like those characters can really have because there gets to be so many of them is just like their particular their one unique skill that they're allowed to have narratively, you know,
yeah.
like everybody gets woken up for like one purpose and like that's what they do the rest of the series.
That's it. Yeah, you're right. Everyone's one note. That's it. That's a good way of
Well, the cast is smaller early on, right? And it's easier to make the core characters decent, you know, and
yeah, because they kind of have to pull double duty on a lot of things, but yeah.
Yep.
No, that's so I haven't finished it. I've started watching it on Saturdays on Toonami. So the English dub is not helping, by the way, but it's gonna help me get through it. So next one up was Mashley. I don't remember talking about this one, but I didn't watch it, so who cares?
It's the Punch Wizard one, yeah.
Oh yeah, it got decent reviews, but like I said, I didn't watch it. So
that was what I considered watching, along with that Jigarashi or whatever you're talking about earlier.
Yeah,
those are two that I considered watching.
Hell's Paradise. Was weird this season. We had Hell's Paradise, and then the next one up, Heavenly Delusion, which I think I also talked about being one of my dark horses. That shocker, I did not watch. But also weirdly enough, dealt a lot about with rape. So ongoing theme. It also got highly reviewed. Let's see, going through here.
Might be having a bit of a crisis right now.
Well, you know. Oh, okay. So the Konosuba spinoff. Now I'm gonna say this. This show, at least up until like the episode 5 or 6 point, was not that great. Like it was okay.
Oh,
but
it get better?
Yeah, it got way better. Like way better. But
okay.
I think it was just like the cast, because like they just weren't, because the Crimson Demons are kind of like all kind of like the same. So you're not getting a lot of variation. Like they all have like similar character tropes. In fact,
this show wasn't carried by Cunny.
No, it actually was, because watching Mega Man was the only reason that I pushed through, because I like Mega Man so much. But weirdly enough, like Union is the only Crimson Demon that's not like the rest of them. So weirdly enough, it really made Union shine. But
well, yeah, that's kind of their whole point. It's like they're all insane, and then for whatever reason, Union isn't insane.
Yeah, she's not. She's the only person there that's actually kind of nice. But around 5 or 6, when they actually graduate from the school and like she moves off and everything, is when it does start to pick up. Like that Konosuba comedy starts to kick in. Like there was one bit where she was so apparently one of the stories is that Komako, her little sister, might have accidentally released like an elder god, and that it turns out the elder god was the cat, whose name I can't really remember. Chomusuke. No, that's the sword. Chomusuke. Yeah. Chomusuke is actually an elder god, Lady Warble or something. I can't remember her name. And her like minion hunts her down, and her minion has this curse where she's cursed to like attract like extremely mid men, which in the village of the Crimson Demons is literally all of them. And there was this really hilarious sequence where like all the men around were like alerted to her presence, and she went into like this big depressive mood where she's like, I can feel them coming to me, I can feel them like approaching, you know, like they're coming, they're coming. So it was very funny. I hadn't laughed at an anime that hard in a while. It was so funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely, but those first few episodes were rough. But
I didn't hate episode 1, but I did hear that people didn't like the general start of the series. So
yeah, so
Yeah, and so speaking of the Megumin spinoff, I
yeah,
believe yesterday or a day or two ago, it was officially announced for season 3 of Konosuba. So that's pretty
amen,
sweet. Next year.
amen. So that's gonna be great. Tonokaka Kawaii, I didn't watch that, even though I wanted to. So blah blah blah. Skip to Loafer, which was another one of my dark horses. I also didn't watch, but highly reviewed, so that's another check in my category. Insomniacs After School. Oh, I missed The Dangers in My Heart, which looked really stupid. This was the one about like a girl that does martial arts that like falls in love with a manlet or something at her like school or something.
Common theme in Japan. They love
Yeah.
Alex Shota and big breasted woman action.
Hey, hey, hey. Got good reviews, so who am I to judge? Insomniacs After School, also one of my dark horses. Didn't watch it. Recurring theme. High reviews. Ancient Magus Bride season 2. I did
Are
actually
you on
start.
like dark horse number 5 of the season at this point?
There was
Like,
a lot
how
of
many
dark
fucking dark horses can
a
we
lot.
have?
There was as many as I want. It's my show. I can have as many dark horses as I want.
I might have to fight you in person over this.
Well, we'll see. So, Ancient Magus Bride season 2. I did actually watch that. Pretty good. Not as good as the first season, but I feel like the first season was really exceptional. And limiting it down to like a school setting, I feel like never makes a show better. But, it's still really watchable. It's still really good. All the characters are still great. So, and then past that, the only other one I really want to bring up was My Home Hero, which you're gonna hate this. Was another one of my dark horses, but this one not so much. This was the one
Another
where
rape one, right?
not rape, but just like general domestic abuse. This guy's daughter got beat up by her Yakuza boyfriend, and then her dad like murders him or something because he'd been beating the shit out of all his girlfriends, and then it was kind of just like a drama thriller about that. And apparently, the premise, while really good, just didn't land. Seems to be the general consensus. And let's see. Oh, there was also the Mobile Suit Gundam second half, but man, I hate to be rude. I just couldn't get back. I couldn't get into it, man. Like Iron Blooded Orphans was so good, but this one just like the Yuri aspect of it just kind of turned me off, honestly.
a lot of people seem to like it though.
It's huge in Japan, but I don't think it translated as well to the West for some reason. So
This one attracted foids.
that would do it. Oh my god, I was gonna say. So some of the continuings that we never got to really talk about was Vinland, which of course we'll talk about. Let me say this real quick. I wanted to see though if the Nier Automata had ever.
So I don't know if you saw, but today it got announced that when it's coming back.
It did. I actually saw that. But this show debuted on January 8th, and it has still not finished. Episode 8 will come out on July 23rd. That is, god dang, this show is going to take forever.
Well, it's episode 9, I believe, right?
No. Oh, following its 8th episode. Yeah. So 9,
Yeah,
10,
so
11,
episode
12.
9 through 12 will air
Right.
back to back on the
So
23rd.
it'll finish towards the end of August. So, woof. Anyway, but Vinland season did actually end. Prude, you're the big Vinland guy. Tell us.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't watch the final episode yet because it aired just right before I started moving.
Right.
I haven't had a chance to watch it at night, but I can tell you the rest of the season very good. Obviously, I think I explained previously that the season has a different tone to the first one, so
Right.
people who liked it just for the action might. I mean, there's still some good action, but like but the message is very different, because the first one was very more typical shonen, like, oh man, he's such a badass, and this one's more of like deconstructing that because he realized that like what his father meant was like, basically a sort of pacifism where you only get violent as a last resort or whatever.
Right.
Um, which of course in the Viking world is kind of hard to do. So, but no, it was a very good season. Without spoiling anything, I'll say the second to last episode, the last one that I did watch, had a lot of qualities of a final episode. Like I was watching, and I was like, wow, this really feels like the season's ending. But they had a whole other episode a second after that. Like it was very. I mean, the whole season had a lot of emotional points. Just a very feels filled season in general. But yeah, very good. I think I think anyone with taste, right, will consider it pretty good. I think in many ways it's better than the first season if you care about like storytelling. So
Yeah. I never even finished the first season, so.
you really should. I mean, it is really good.
Eh.
Wow, really?
Uh-huh. That's my answer to that.
You're just mad about it, huh? Really?
Eh.
Wow. Did you not like it, or did you?
It's all right. It's all right.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of rape, a lot of rape in that one too.
Was there a lot of rape? I don't really remember.
Oh yeah,
much, but
there was a lot of rape in that one.
Well, the Vikings go.
Yeah, I mean it was the Vikings, man. Yeah, it was kind of like that was one of their
True.
primary things.
It's true.
How they've fallen.
Well, we could bring it back.
We, for legal reasons, though, can't.
Right, I mean, this is the Viking spirit, not necessarily that part.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, we'll get Simon on the show to discuss that next week.
Right.
He's in Denmark. Fate worse than death, some would say.
I thought he was like Norwegian.
He is, but he's like, I don't know if he's there on vacation or what, but
I see. Well, they're all the same to me.
kinda. And at one point they kind of were, so. No. Anyway, also a Nintendo Direct this week, so I heard. I didn't watch it.
See what happened? I watched it.
Why didn't I watch it? Oh, I was at Arby's. That was it.
It was pretty good. Had some rather large announcements.
Yeah, I think the two big ones that really stuck out to me, of course, was the remake, which I did when y'all said it, I didn't even realize it was going to be a remake, but a remake of Super Mario RPG, which is really cool because I feel like Super Mario RPG was like one of the most unique games on the SNES, like far and away.
And people have been asking for that for a very long time now.
Right.
So.
And it's also like as a side note to that though, it's good to see that like Squeenix and Nintendo are on at least some level have some sort of good business relationship at this point, because a lot of people had been concerned that maybe they didn't. So it's good to see that still working out. But we are getting another mainline air quotes Mario game, 2D, but
Yeah, I mean the last 2D official Mario game, because you can't really count Mario Makers. Doesn't really count. Was fucking like new Super Mario Bros. For like the Wii U.
Yeah.
And even then, that might have just been an updated version of the one for the Wii. So it's been a very long time.
Which I think the updated one for the
Mario game.
Wii was just an updated from the DS, right? Or was it a completely different one?
No, I think the Wii version was a sequel to the DS one.
Okay, because the DS one went hard, by the way.
The DS,
Wii
one also went hard.
Yeah, I played that DS one like 5 times, beginning to end. It was really good. It was a really solid one. So, yeah, I'm not like a huge 2D Mario guy, and I knew it would kind of be like a little too much to ask to get another 3D one, because I don't think Nintendo's ever done 2 3D Marios on a console, unless you count. Well, I guess
I mean, the
Galaxy
games.
Galaxy and Galaxy 2. But I feel like Galaxy 2 was kind of a little bit closer to the Wii U. Maybe?
What was 3D World for?
Wii U. Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Yeah, it was. So it was,
Was the Wii? Huh. Okay. Then the Wii did Got it, and it wasn't even like just like it was 2010, and the Wii originally came out in what, 6? Yeah, November 6, I think. 06. Have I ever told y'all my Wii story?
No.
No.
So the Wii came out, and it was the first console, even though I was still just like mid-teens. It was like the first console that I could buy, right? That I could get. Because the GameCube came out when I was like 11 or something. And then the 64, God, it was like 5, 6, and then the SNES came out before I was born, I'm pretty sure. So it was like the first. Oh no, actually, the SNES came out like at the tail end of '90s, so I was a baby. So, it was the first. It was the first one I could buy with like my money. I could go get it, and by God, I was gonna go get it. So my town at this time, we didn't have a GameStop, we didn't have Best Buy or anything, and I didn't want to have to go to a town that had one of those because late night launch, whatever. So me and my friend Barry, y'all know Barry, we went over to Walmart and posted up for it. Now, when I went over and like when you think about it, where are you gonna go at Walmart to wait for a console to drop? The electronics section, right?
Yeah.
No. You'd be wrong. You'd be dead wrong. You apparently wait in the garden section outside in November. So we did. We waited outside.
Oh.
Yeah. We waited outside. We were pretty far back in the line, even though we'd gotten there remotely early, but whatever. So we waited and we waited. Finally, midnight got there, and the line moved slow. Guy in front of me finally gets off the register, pulls his cash out, buys it, hands it to him. I pull up, and they give me the look. The look you don't want to see when you've just stood in line for 4 hours. The guy in front of me had gotten the last Wii. And I went, bruh, how you gonna do this to me? And there wasn't many people behind me either. Maybe 10. So I go, fuck hell. And I'm just like, because there's nothing they can do. They're out of them. They can't just conjure them. So I go, all right, what am I gonna do? So guy behind me is already on his phone. And apparently he had other Walmarts on speed dial. And as we're walking away, he says, hey, I just got off the phone with the Walmart in Waynesboro. They got him. Now, for reference, Waynesboro is not super close. Waynesboro is like 30 minutes away. And it's not a good town either. It's not a great town. So me and my boy get in my truck, and I do 80, pushing 90 in my shitty little 2003 F-150 down Highway 84 to Waynesboro, Mississippi at like 3 in the morning. We get there. They've got plenty. Got it. Come home. Feel great. So that's my Wii story that I love telling. That I was the first person in line.
I thought you were gonna go all the way there. Yeah.
Oh no, they had plenty.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go there and they were out too or something. But,
No, if I'd gone there and they were out, I would have shot somebody. Which probably wouldn't have been the first shooting at the Waynesboro Walmart, I'm pretty sure. Waynesboro's a rough town.
The moral of the story is to go to towns for your consoles where nobody who lives there can afford the console.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that works anymore because everything's so well, first off, these days Walmart wouldn't be open at that time. Now, well, if you do want a story of me getting screwed on a midnight launch, I do have one of those. It was the Cataclysm launch in 2010, or was it late 2009? I can't remember. It was the Cataclysm launch. I went up to, I don't know why I didn't go to Hattiesburg. I might have called Hattiesburg and they said no. And I called up to the Best Buy in Meridian. And I said, hey, are y'all gonna have this? Are y'all gonna open up and have it? And they went, yeah. And I went, okay, I believe you, random person that I spoke to on the phone for 2 minutes. So I go up there, and I don't know, it's like 10 or something. We'd messed around for a little bit. I think I ate supper and a bunch of other stuff, and kind of just drove around town. So, like 10-ish, 11s, crawling up. So I go over to the Best Buy, and I'm like, I don't see anybody there, right? And I'm a little concerned, slightly concerned. So I go in there and say, hey, y'all gonna have Cataclysm tonight, right? And he said, yeah, we'll have it in the morning when we open. And I went, oh yeah, well, right, but you'll have it like tonight, right? At midnight. And he went, oh no, we're not doing that. And I went, oh, okay, that's great. I was like, but you said you would. And he's like, I don't know who said that. They lying. All right, that's great. So I go over to Walmart and I say, hey, are y'all gonna have it? And they go, probably. And I go, all right, fucking. And at this point, there were other people there waiting. So I went, okay, fine. So I wait like the I don't know, at that point it was like maybe an hour. Midnight rolls around. And nothing happens. I'm like, I don't know, like another hour or so passes. And I think an employee like comes up and said, what are y'all waiting on? And we're like, we're waiting on World of Warcraft Cataclysm. And they were like, oh, okay. And then they just disappear. Like, I don't think they even cared. They were just asking why people were standing there. Like another hour passes. And a different employee comes and said, are y'all waiting for like, I forgot what he was like, are y'all waiting for Shrek 2? On DVD or something to come out? And I think we just all looked at each other like, no. And they were like, oh. And we're like, we're here for WoW. And then they looked at the box and like, oh, okay, we got those too. And I was like, oh, thank God. So they started handing them out. And I was like, okay, so where's the collector's editions? And they went, oh, we don't carry those. We don't carry those. I went, you have to be fucking kidding me. That's the whole reason I came here. So long story short, I bought just the basic bitch version. And then, yeah, I guess I went home and then I like bought the digital upgrade for it. And I think that's when I stopped buying like collector's editions physical. And then I didn't again until, joke's on me, Shadowlands. So that was rough.
It's okay though. It'll work out with Starfield.
Well, yeah, that's when I just started ordering them to my house.
Yeah.
So that was the that was the good ending of that, I suppose. So anyway, well, it's that time of the show, boys. Y'all know what it is. What did we learn on the show tonight? Prude? What did you learn on the show tonight?
I'm thinking about.
Lot to think. Lot of lessons.
I've learned a lot recently, but not really from the show.
Okay. Well, for the sake of moving. Oh no. Okay, you got some. All right, go ahead.
I learned that Hell's Paradise turned out to be good, so maybe I should go back and watch it.
There you go, Tony.
I didn't learn shit.
Based. I learned that apparently mics that are really good for recording for some reason are not good plugged into laptops in Discord. So
I'm wondering if the nature of its input is just different over the aux versus the USB for some reason. Because like,
it's possible.
The nature, because this mic can output on either, right? Like the aux is obviously for going into the computer, but you can do it directly into the PC. It's just when you plug it through USB, you get like more controls over the mic through their little app. So I thought it would be better through USB, but maybe it's better through aux. I don't know.
Who knows? So, all right. Well, we'll be back next week with Prude, who will be in the great state of Tennessee. He will officially be home, in his true home, not his fake home, where he spent so much of his life. But he will begin a new phase in his life. Someone could even say that he's transitioning. I wouldn't, but you could.
So that's a word you could theoretically choose.
You could. It would be applicable. It wouldn't be ideal, but it would be applicable. So
it's really a sign of how language evolves, right? I mean, in the old days, sure.
So, I'll be here. Tony won't be here, unfortunately. Tony is gonna get murdered this week. It's really a shame.
Damn, that's news to me.
Yeah, it usually is. So That's all right.
Like,
You can have a you can have a really nice funeral. We're gonna dump your ashes out at
I mean,
top of the
I
world.
need him to survive until I at least arrive, so I can get stuff.
Well, who do you think's gonna?
I thought the implication was Prude was gonna murder my
Yeah,
ass.
let's say who do you think is gonna kill him?
Well, I would never hurt anything. I'm harmless.
Oh yeah, that's what they all say, and that's when you gotta look out. So, all
I'm
right,
trustworthy.
all right, let's get the hell out of here.